Only 3 races remain in the Area Cup Series regular season before the playoffs start at the Indianapolis Road Course in just a couple of weeks' time. But first, we must head to a place we've never gone in the Area Cup Series, the Magic Mile in Loudon, New Hampshire. Hi, everybody. Race number 10 of the Area Cup Series is about to kick off. I'm Kyle Heyer, joined by Vinny DeCuna and Hunter Slempy. Vinny, welcome aboard. The Magic Mile, this 1-mile racetrack, has been a bit of an interesting one in the past for us here with open-wheel cars and fendered-in cars alike, but tonight we got 141 laps here.
Yeah, this is the part where I usually say something nice about the track and how it's going to be a challenge for the drivers, but we were talking about this before the broadcast. We both don't particularly like this place, and you know, in iRacing just never really had good luck here, never really had good memories out of here. We'll see though for the drivers again who's going to be doing well, especially with the playoff picture looming in the back. These guys are going to have to hope, especially the guys on the outside looking in, getting up in the points.
Did you just notice that this racetrack was constructed in the year 5317? From the future, that's why it's the Magic Mile, Hunter.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of magic here, but in real life racing, it seems like the track's gotten fairly decent ever since it lost its second date. But overall in the sim, haven't heard too many positive things from the driver, especially with the setup and how the track is. However, I'm very excited because I got to cover this with Jacob Bell back when we did the Rick's Hot Sauce Late Model Series, and this track was full of controversy with hard racing, crashes. We saw someone flip over in turn 4, and that race was crazy. So overall, I'm pretty excited for what we have in store tonight. At least for me. Everyone else is kind of gloomy on it with the setup.
I don't know what it is. It might be the northeastern weather, but today it's nice and warm here in the sim. 96-degree track temp here fitting as well, so that means that we're going to be fighting tire temperature is the big one here, the right side tires. Not a lot of banking here, so you're fighting grip all the way through the corner and leaning on those right side Goodyears.
Yeah, and also thing too is that when it gets hot, a little bit slick out there as well. I've been noticing a lot of drivers, even with just the smallest amount of contact, it seems like these guys are getting loose very easily and spinning out. And even by themselves too, you've seen some guys start to spin and get loose off these corners. So that could be a big thing, and I think it's also weighing down on the drivers, particularly not suiting to liking. That's the last thing you want to do on a flat track, is have a car that's loose and not handling well.
Well, you take a look at our playoff picture here after 9 races in. Jake Nichols has 6 wins on the season. He is the top driver to beat. Travis Beckner with that Area 500 win. James Scioli, Ricky Springer picking up wins as well. Tom DeLeo highest without a win over at plus 62. David Weishart, Ryan Hartz as well. Keep an eye on Ryan Hartz. This is actually his home track. Big fan here of New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and look for him to be a factor tonight, maybe add a W to the column. Seth Noel, Shane Abbey, Gabriel Ellison there. Very tight from Seth Noel on. Michael Curran, Jordan Martin +4, +3, and then Tyler Nichols just outside the cutoff by only 3 points.
Yeah, this is getting pretty tight here. We're getting down in the last couple weeks here before the playoffs begin at the Indianapolis Road Course on January 23rd. So we've got New Hampshire, then Pocono, then Talladega. I would consider 2 of those to be kind of some wild cards. Talladega certainly is. I think Pocono also is. I'm not really sure we know what the next-gen cars are going to do there, so there's a lot of question marks floating in the air. This week, this is a pretty traditional kind of intermediate short track style, flat 1-mile racetrack that I think we're going to have some similar names and faces up towards the front, but Jake Nichols, Finian, continues to be the dominant force. I think that's obvious, but maybe less obvious are some of the drivers down towards that cut line that we thought would be a little safer. Tyler Nichols in the 13th spot, Matthew Bell in the 15th spot. All drivers I would have thought, based on how they could run, that they'd be a little higher up the running.
Yeah, absolutely. No, this is, again, just not having some more consistent runs as of late. They've just not been able to get themselves in the points. But that's the big thing, too. We talk about, some wildcard races coming up, like Pocono, and especially Talladega. Obviously, I don't think anyone wants to bet their hopes on trying to get a playoff spot at Talladega, but for some of these guys, like the drivers we mentioned, that may be their last hope if they can't secure a win before that race.
Yeah, a season ago, Jordan Martin was sitting 19th in the points on the outside looking in, had to get a win to move on. Unfortunately, he came at Talladega, the last race of the regular season, and he was able to put on a little bit of a playoff run here, although he's running fairly better than he was last year. Don't think he'll have to worry about that, at least for now. Only 3 points above the cutoff line. So 19th in points is Garrett Grant, so maybe that's a lucky spot they can go 2 in a row. We'll see, but Matthew Bell looking to get things back on track here.
And Matthew Bell running 10th right now here in practice. Here's a name I haven't seen in some time. That's Connor Okrezik in the number 14. He's back with us this week in the 14 car. Other drivers to keep an eye on. James Scioli, only 17th quick here in practice fitting. I'm not sure how indicative this is. I can tell you, though, that he's run 37 laps, which is a lot of laps and a lot more than most of the rest of the field here. So that 7 car, at least right now, seems to be struggling just a touch.
Yeah, we'll see if he can, pick up the pace. Obviously, practice is one thing. Qualifying's a completely different story. In the race itself, that's where you get the points. So we'll see if he's got that long-term pace. That could be the story with the number 7 machine. Not necessarily quick on the short runs, not putting down blistering lap times, but maybe able to save his equipment, especially talking about how flat the track is. That's definitely going to become into effect with the tire wear.
We look inside the top 5, a driver whose name stands out to me, Douglas Newbigging over there in the 4th. Also Michael Curran as well, but Newbigging has a new paint scheme on board. It looks pretty sick, and it's pretty fast as well.
Tim Rat Market livery, we'll talk about them a little bit later tonight. I tried to read your mind, Hunter. It was the 24 that I initially went to. Going back to our points graphic, look where he is 11th, just +4 of the cut line, running 3rd tonight. If he could have a good night, this might solidify, well, maybe not solidify, but at least improve his chances of moving on to the playoffs in a couple of weeks.
See what they can do here. I'm just curious to see who's going to be able to try to stop Jake Nichols in the 91, winning all 3 of the last races at Darlington, Bristol, and Charlotte. We're starting to run out of space on that graphic with all the win stickers. So he's currently running in 2nd. Ryan Hartz is the man doing it in the moment in practice. That number 3 looking pretty quick out there. Really a question though, can he seal the deal in the race?
I think he can. He's going to be my pick. He's been coming to the races here there's Jacob Bell. Oh, gosh. Well, he's been coming to the races here as long as I can remember, at least since 2015. Home track. Really wants to get a win here. He's been really solid the last few weeks. Hasn't been able to close it out. As mentioned, Jake Nichols is on a streak of 3 wins in a row. He's looking to get 4, but he's going to have to get through Ryan Hart tonight. He will be my pick for tonight's race.
Having a home track advantage always does something. And for me, it's the Glen. For Hartz, it's New Hampshire. Worked out pretty well for Ricky Springer back at Atlanta as well. So let's keep that in mind, that drivers that kind of grow up around racetracks, they tend to spend a little extra time practicing, even in just testing scenarios. If you pick a track that is kind of your go-to to test out new cars, you're probably going to end up at your home track, and that could play to Ryan Hartz's advantage here as we get a little bit later into this evening and get into the race. 140 laps is on tap for tonight. We have to qualify, but before we get there, we'd like to take a moment. Fans, be sure to subscribe to the Area iRacing Twitch channel. For only $5 a month, you can watch all area broadcasts commercial-free. You can also use new Area iRacing emotes in the chat. You'll also earn double channel points as a subscriber that you can use to redeem for free merchandise at twitch.tv/Area iRacing. Practice is complete. We'll be headed to qualifying here shortly. And Finian, as far as places go, I kind of rate New Hampshire somewhere in the middle of qualifying importance. Here's why. It's hard to pass, I think, at times here. Here's what helps drivers out a little bit. This is a great place for the comers and goers. If you drive too hard, you're going to feel it. If you are easy on the tires, you're going to look like Superman towards the end of a run.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see. I feel like I'm leaning a little bit more towards qualifying being a little bit more important than some of the other tracks we've gone to, because in the past you have seen it's kind of hard to pass, and even with this particular car, the next-gen car, it has been hard to pass some tracks, so we'll see what these guys bring out there. Again, depending on how the setup is and how these cars race in a pack, we'll see how hard it's going to be, but I think these guys definitely are going to want to try to get a good qualifying effort in.
And there's no sticky stuff here, so you got to find some speed in the later runs here by preserving the tires early on. And
wait,
go on.
I was gonna say, wait, did they put PJ1 here?
In real life,
not
yes.
in the sit. In
Are
real
you serious?
life, but not the sit. Yep.
It needs help.
Huh.
I mean, I'm just being honest. I would have been totally for us running the Roval configuration. I know it's terrible for stock cars, but I think it would be awesome, and I think we should. I think we did a stream there, didn't we? I know we did a rallycross stream at the Charlotte Roval, but didn't we do a WDCR region race here one time?
Maybe a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, but
yeah, it's probably a long time ago. I'm pretty sure we have.
It's a cool little layout. Here's Chris Rabel setting up for his qualifying effort here, Hunter, as drivers try to get their names as high on the board as possible here in the next couple of laps.
And Chris Rabel's another one who's looking to get things going on the right track. They're running around top 15 or so, but just hasn't had that speed yet. looking to recapture it here at the Magic Mile. Although James Scarley not too far off his lap time there for the first lap, and Greg Mitchell actually to the top of the chart. Going to see this rotate a lot.
I think we will. Chris Rabel jumps down to fourth as Kazumanu Ishiwu jumps up to second place on his opening lap, a 34.01. Curious to see if we'll see an improvement on lap number 2 versus lap number 1. Here comes Rabel, a 35.56. That was a tenth slower. Comes Greg Mitchell to finish up his second lap.
Whoa, comes flying off, almost hitting the wall off of turn 4. I think we're going to see quite a few guys do that. He comes across the line. Ryan Hart in the number 3. He's going to come across the line to finish his first time lap. 30.371. Going to put him up on pole. Actually, no, just got pushed off.
Yeah, Brandon Bowie jumps to first there, Hunter.
Bowie was 6th quickest in practice. He's another one who can show some speed here tonight. As will the 3 of Hearts. And here's Delonte Ballard, just strung together a couple of good finishes as of late, looking to get another little playoff push in, and always solid at Talladega. We'll see how he is tonight at New Hampshire.
30.531 for Delonte Ballard, goes 11th quick on his first lap. Runs kind of mid-track here. This is one of those racetracks that, in my experience, I'm not sure if you had this same experience learning how to drive this place. I found this place incredibly line sensitive. If you were off by a foot from the preferred line, kind of right in the middle of the racetrack, I found it really difficult to go fast.
Yeah, here's the thing, I've never figured out how to drive this place. still figuring out how to drive, but no, yeah, I agree though. It is very line sensitive. You need to get it right every single time. That's the tough part, is trying to get it right every single time, because you pretty much can't. Sometimes you go in a little bit more, sometimes you go a little bit harder, sometimes not as much. You need to kind of find that right rhythm. You get in that rhythm. As we look at Jake Nichols, if anyone's wondering why there's boss music, it's because the 91's out on the track. About to set his first time lap. He's started pole twice this season. See if he can keep that up.
Well, looking over in the Twitch chat, Travis Beckner's made his way over saying this track sucks. So that is his
well, I guess we're all on the same page there tonight, huh? 33.76 is going to take Nichols to third on his opening lap. See if he can improve it on lap number 2. It hasn't been popular to go quicker on your second lap tonight.
He's only 17.
Oh, he's in the wall out of 2. Got in the
Never mind.
fence. Douglas Newbegin jumps up to second, though, in his second lap. But Nichols just walked up the hill out of turn number 2. Let's have a look at that on the Simrat Market replay. Just comes up out of turn number 2 and just watch the car walk on itself right here. He's going to get back in the throttle a little bit too soon. Right there, steps out, he chases it and knocks the quarter panel into the fence.
Yeah, I think turn 2 is definitely going to be Calamity Corner tonight. We've seen many wrecks in the past, and I think we've seen a lot of guys in qualifying and even in practice as well loose off of turn 2. So I think we could see a lot of that occurring in the race and being an upset for a lot of these drivers in the race. Just looking at Jacob Bell, now looking at Douglas Newbing in the 71, just out there running laps as he is gone on to pole in the 71 machine. Solid lap.
Yeah, very solid for him. Was 4th quickest in practice. We'll see if that holds up. Still 5 minutes remaining. We'll see what the 77 that Jacob Bell has to offer. 30.8 looks like. Got to make a big improvement. 23rd quick on lap 1.
Well, drivers to keep an eye on. Travis Beckner begins his first of 2 flying laps. Matthew Bell is on track as well. He's actually just started his first lap.
And Beckner's going to actually hit the bailout his first lap. Got loose out of turn 2. Didn't hit the wall, but obviously lost his momentum, so he's got to prepare now for lap number 2 here. This will be his flying lap coming up shortly.
Well,
we've seen a lot of this. Oh, I was going to say, we've seen a lot of this coming out of turn 4. Drivers get loose and feel like it's going to happen on both ends, turn 2 and turn 4.
Yeah, I think both ends of the track will be challenged to navigate. Pretty, not entirely symmetrical, but it's pretty darn close, more so than some other tracks that are shaped like this. Seth Noel, 7th place on his first lap. And Matthew Bell jumps to 10th, so a good top 10 run for him. Aaron Smith is on track.
Beckner with a very poor lap through 3 and 4. I think he's going to be down the order. Actually, no, not as bad. Luckily, he messed up 3 and 4, so he's going to be back in 12th, though probably not as much as he would like. Yeah, I saw him understeering here. I thought he messed that up.
Yeah,
but,
he entered low and kind of just drifted up, but the little bit of banking here did catch him. He was able to make some speed, but a very different line than we saw a lot of other drivers taking, Hunter, as we focus now on how about Tommy Ryan in the 99.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan got that win in Atlanta for the other series, but he's been pretty quick in the Cup Series, been inside the top 10 majority of the season. Looks like he's got a new paint scheme there.
He does, and he has already qualified all the laps he can qualify. He's invalidated all of them, so he's just out there running laps at
Aaron
this stage.
Smith had a big wreck in turn 1 on his first flying lap. He's going out for attempt number 2.
In turn 1, how did that happen?
He just kind of sent it in a little bit too hard, back in, stepped out, as well as the internet.
Went around for a loop, so he'll have to go again. He's got 3 minutes left to do it. Gabriel Ellison is also on track. Another new livery. Roasted Gems Coffee's got a handful of these new liveries tonight. I think the other is Sturgill in the 17. But looking very spicy is Ellison's off into turn number 1.
So it reminds me of the 43 paint scheme. Forgot what exact sponsor. Was it Advent? No,
Focus
Advent.
Factor.
Focus Factor, thank you.
I was reminded of ICO scheme, but I think I'm tripping, so carry on. Into turn 3 and 4 for Ellison. Seidenfeiden's on track. Bryce Senesac, Aaron Smith. Here comes Ellison, lap number 1 of 2. 31.444. I think he's banking for a faster second lap here.
Is that the hope? Sorry, anyone wants to start outside the top 30? So see if he can improve.
No, something's not right. Not
Seems
right.
Seems like it's handling on the tight side for him.
Yeah, I don't think that was definitely not what he expected to happen there. So I think this is going to be a throwaway here. And Ellison will probably start towards the tail. We'll see if he picks up on lap number 2. He does, but it's not going to be enough to move him up any spots. So 31st dead last for Ellison. Aaron Smith invalidated his second lap, I think, as well. Here comes Seidenfeiden.
Turn 2.
31st for Seidenfeiden. Senesac up to 24th. And now just a minute left.
I think Seidenfeiden will probably be the last of the qualifiers here. No one else out on track. Everyone else is wrecked out. Now being able to put a solid lap in, we'll see Seidenfeiden can improve. Second to last driver to put a time down. This comes flying out at turn 4, close to the wall. Barely going to keep off of it. It'll be clean. Across the line for him.
No pickup. Well, I lied. It was a pickup. 30.6 up to 24th place.
Hey, any improvement's good improvement.
Senesac did knock him down 1 position, though, as he came through on his second lap to a 35.64. That means that qualifying is concluded. That means that Douglas Newbegin and Brandon Bowie will be on the front row for this one. Then Ryan Hartz and Jake Nichols, who led practice on row number 2. So qualifying is complete. We'll have a moment. Take one last look here at our playoff picture before we get started here for 141 laps. Looking down the order there, Ryan Hartz 7th in the standings. Finian, could tonight be his night to pick up some more spots and have a little bit better seed going into the playoffs?
I mean, I think so. Again, these guys, you got to take whatever you get, especially if you have a really good qualifying effort. You're giving yourself a really solid position. Now it's the thing, you're just not throwing it away, making sure you get the race, get a good start to the race, get into a good rhythm, and watch out for that 91 because he's going to be starting in 4th. He's still very close to the front.
Qualifying is complete, and we'll take this moment to thank our starting grid sponsor. Fans, be sure to visit Roasted Gems Coffee for some of the finest coffee from all over the world. Use discount code AREA iRacing for 10% off your order at roastedgems.com. We're going to kick off our race like we kick off our morning with Roasted Gems Coffee here in just a minute. Once we conclude this warm-up period here, we'll head down to the racetrack. Finn and I will run through the grid like we always do. We'll go racing here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. This 1 mile track that not a whole lot of people are extremely fond of, Finian, but sometimes you just have to kind of embrace the battle and take to it because you don't have a choice. If you want to get into playoffs, you want to have a good run tonight, you have to pretend to like it at least. Give it your best shot.
Well, by the time the smoke settles and the checkered flag's out, there'll be at least one happy person coming out of here, and that'll be the race winner. The question is, who is it going to be? Again, the odds are it's probably are in favor that it's going to be that 91 of Jake Nichols. 6 wins to his name this season. Definitely the man to beat out there. We talked about Ryan Hartz going to do his best at his home track to prevent that from happening. So Connor Kresick, as we mentioned, back in the number 14, back out on track.
Now, you know why this name rings a bell. I think we've seen him in some other oval leagues before, but most notably think back a number of years ago, Finian, to the Speed 51 modified series. Kresick is a real-world modified driver, and obviously New Hampshire is basically modified Daytona. So it makes a lot of sense that he's here tonight. He could be a big factor. He will start a little bit deeper field, though. He will roll, well, I say that, he will roll off in 6th in this one. Let's head down to the grid and get rolling here. Starting lineup brought to you by Roasted Gems Coffee. Pole position starting in row number 1 is Douglas Newbegin in the number 71. He'll roll off alongside Brandon Bowie in the number 23 in 2nd.
Back in row 2, a really solid stacked row. Ryan Hart's going to be inside on number 3 machine. Jake Nichols in the 91 rolling off 4th.
Starting on row number 3, Greg Mitchell's number 2 Ford. Connor Kresick, another Ford Mustang, rolls off in 6th in the number 14.
Back in row 4, Seth Noel in the number 1 machine in 7th place. Cosmo Yoshimo in the 84 in 8th place next to him.
Row 5 is Jacob Bell, a nice 9th place starting spot for the 77. Matthew Bell will roll off alongside him in 10th in that blue number 9.
Back in 11th, Dominic DeLeo in the 22 is going to land up in the inside. Travis Beckner in the 20 is going to be lined up in 12th.
13th place is Michael Sturgill's number 17. That's a Roasted Gems car we have yet to see on the grid. He's not loaded in yet, but Rafe Slate is. He's in that number 8 Ford. Will roll off in 5.
Back in 15, Michael Curran in the 24 machine in 15th. Next to him, Jordan Martin is going to be lined up in the 11 car in 16th.
17th place is the purple and white number 29 Ford, Chris Rabel. Garrett Grant's Chevrolet Camaro, the number 5, starts 18th.
Donte Ballard is going to be lined up in the 21 and 19th place next to him. James Scioli in the number 7 is going to be rolling off in 20th.
21st place is Tyler Nichols, number 41, and 22nd, JT Pools, number 32.
Back in 23rd, the 09 of Bryce Senizak is going to be rolling off the inside. Next to Ricky Springer in the 18 and 24th.
25th place is Chris Seiden, finds number 45. Ryan Swans, number 19 Toyota, starts 26th.
Back in 27th is going to be the 64 of Ed Robertson. In 28th next to him, Dwayne Culberson in the 81 machine.
And behind them, it's going to be the 29th place, number 4 of Alex Weaver, and the 30th place car, Andrew Players, number 13.
Back in behind them, Tom Boyd's going to be lined up in the 16 car in 31st. Mark Patterson, the 15 is going to be lined up next to him in 32nd.
33rd place is Gabriel Ellison's number 27. Aaron Smith rolls off 34th in the number 72.
Back in 35th is going to be 33 David Weiser. Alan Valentino is all the way back in the 70 car in 36th place.
37th is Tommy Ryan in the number 99. Jeff Ryan starts 38th in the number 37. That wraps up your 38 car field as we get rolling here on this pace lap. 141 laps from green to checkers, about an hour and 11 minutes. That's what the Magic Mile will bring us tonight in 141 laps. That's if we go green all the way. Field's doubled up here. Weather is a little bit cloudier than it was here in practice. That's going to bring the track temp down to about 91 degrees Fahrenheit. Air temp, though, 80. That means we could see that track temp fall even further if the cloud coverage continues.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure these drivers cannot wait to have the cloud cover come over. Just cool this place down, give them more grip to work with.
The field bunched up 2 by 2, 19 rows deep. Race number 10 of the 2023 now, I guess you could say, Area Cup Series season rolls out of turn number 4. 3 races left until the playoffs, and we are green and racing at the Magic Mile. Trouble already in the background. Springer side and fight
Oh
in,
my
and
gosh.
more already piled up before they even get to the line, Hunter.
This is not how we expected to see this go. Kind of similar to what we saw for the Lodgebox Series in Atlanta. They just stacked up and right before they got to the start-finish line. We'll have to take a look back and see what transpired.
The 18 was the first car I saw turn sideways.
Oh, look at the 32.
Oh, right there. Snaps right on throttle there. A whole bunch of cars are going to get some minor damage. The 37 of Jeff Ryan piles in there. Man, he got some big-time damage, but it just snaps. It just snaps to the side, and Side and Fight gets a big piece of it. The 32, the 18, 13. Not a lot anybody could do here.
Yeah, it was just when you went to go to the upshift to second gear, car got loose. And then everyone else nowhere to really go in this, and the entire track got blocked very quickly. Oof.
Didn't even get to the start-finish line to mark lap number 1 for a lot of these drivers. That'll be a frustrating way to kick off the evening, and if they didn't already like the track, be hard-pressed to enjoy it more after that. But caution out on lap 1, and we'll rack them up, stack them up, and try this again, but already going to be down a couple cars, or at least with some damage at the very least. The biggest hit, I think, in there was Jeff Ryan. Should have gotten a lot of damage on the nose, but I don't see any, so maybe it wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah, for his sake, he's gonna have to hope that it's not that much damage. Yeah, second week in a row we had a wreck before we even got to the green flag. Last time out, we were with this series at least, we were out at Charlotte. Same incident happened, so I have the same thing occurring again at New Hampshire. As you see, the 45 Chris Seidenfeld repairing his machine.
Big damage already. Obviously not the way Chris wanted things to go out, but that's kind of what happens when you don't have a good qualifying effort. I mean, imagine if Jake Nichols did that on both laps. Not on the first lap, where he had a solid lap to start inside the top 5, but imagine he didn't start inside the top 5, messed up both laps, had to start in the back. He would have been involved in that.
Why get that bad qualifying effort? Getting a bad qualifying effort, if you're just you have a poor run and you start 12th, that's one thing. But if you don't get a lap and you start 30th, then you're really in a bad spot. All right, here's a problem. Gotten the 1 to green. They're leaving the pace car behind. We have to do a loop around here because of the awkward caution scenario. So we'll have to kind of wait and see how race control wants this, but might have to add a lap here onto the yellow, which was decidedly pretty short, I will say.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was actually surprised to see the lights go out that quickly.
Yeah, a lot of confusion here. I
can imagine. Confusing situation. I'm sure they were told to pass the pace car, but there's the caution back out and sorted. I think, didn't the same thing happen in Charlotte?
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised. Just iRacing things.
A couple of weeks ago, but these awkward race control scenarios. But all right, now Douglas Newbegin, the race leader, has caught the tail of the field. But there is the safety car, so we're going to probably get at least one more lap. The Newbegin is slowing down here. He has caught the car that he needs to catch, but everybody else still spread around the racetrack. Pretty
it looks like a racing out there.
Yeah. Another lap added here to let everyone catch back up without having to rush around and end up piling into each other on the slowdown here. So effectively, we're going to have a 134-lap race by the time we get back racing. But a nice clean start up at the front, at least. Newbegin, Bowie, Hartz, Nichols, they're going to retain where they were. Same with Greg Mitchell and Oprezek. Not really a lot of opportunity for anybody to make passes.
I was going to say, they only had about 50 feet of racing until they had the caution come out.
Well, from what I've seen, we've had some pretty good racing so far. They're not afraid to touch fenders. That's all I know.
So here's the thing I'm curious to watch. Jake Nichols, we know how good he is at saving tires. I just have a feeling that this track is going to eat tire tonight, and Jake Nichols knows that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him fall back here on this initial start and preserve tires. We've seen it work out for him in the past. Don't feel like he's going to jump out there and try to lead a bunch of laps. I think he's going to try to play this very smart and knows that lap 141 is where the points are paid out. We'll see if I'm wrong about that. Field's doubled up and getting ready to go restart here at lap number 7.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what everyone else is going to do, because they know that Nichols is really good at saving tires. He's done it week in, week out. Never the most flashy for the most part. If he gets out there, he'll go drive away from everyone, but he'll wait for his moment to strike. He's not impatient like that. So see if Newbegin, Buey, and if Hartz have anything to say.
Field's doubled up here, lap number 7. Douglas Newbegin going to try this again to roll out of turn number 4. Newbegin and Bowie, green flag in the air, racing again from Loudon, New Hampshire. The Magic Mile, we're underway. That time we got through it clean. Up front, Newbegin leads. Had a big moment out of turn 2, but he gathers it up. And how about Seth Noel looking very aggressive on the opening lap here, Finian?
Yeah, almost tried to get around Brandon Bowie in the 23, but couldn't quite get the move done. just slotted in behind the 23 and was taking him out. And now fighting side by side with the 91. Nichols trying to foul out on the outside. Will finally clear the one as he finally secures fourth.
A little further back, there's Dom DeLeo in the 22. Oh, they're 3 wide in the back. There's Michael Curran on the outside.
Yeah,
Whoa! Tap Jordan Martin around out of turn 4.
Martin spins back across the racetrack. Everybody scatters. I think they're going to miss him, and they do. Caution out for the second time tonight.
My heart stopped there to see if anyone was going to clobber him.
And just had a little bit of a touch there from Garrett Grant. And around he went, and this is what worried me, is coming back across the road. That was very close. Everyone did a good job.
Glad no one else got involved in that. That really could have been bad. Kind of looked a little similar to like what we see at Bristol. The car spinning low that just comes back up high on the straightaway. Just that little tap. That's all it takes.
Throttled up to get it out of the wall, but when it comes back around, woof. Oh, is that Culberson?
Yeah, that was Culberson. 81.
Here's his onboard. Watch way up on the left. He was kind of blocked in by Weishart here. He didn't have a lot of place to go.
Good reaction.
That'll wake you up. That or roast Jem's coffee.
Yeah, that wreck really showed how on edge these cars are. This is what I was talking about in practice. Just the smallest tap, smallest bit of contact in the wrong part of the corner is enough to send these guys around.
Caution number 2. Update on those that were involved in that first collision. Seidenfeiden is back on the racetrack, but 3 laps down with some crash damage repaired. Ryan Swan is back on the racetrack, 3 laps down, damage repaired. Jacob Bell is currently listed as out. And a couple cars down on pit lane here. Looks like Jordan Martin and then 32 of JT Poole coming on down. He's still got some damage to repair, it looks like.
Also an update, Garrett Grant is going to get an EOL for being involved in an incident, so he's going to be dropping down the order.
Lightest of touches.
Well, this one's going at an alarmingly quick rate.
Yep, I mean, I think this is one of those races that once you get into a run, it's going to be really hard to get out of it. It's going to go green for a while, I feel. But just to get out of the initial stages where everyone's kind of packed up together on, and there's no rubber on the racetrack yet, I think it's going to be challenging to get into that position. So we'll see how long it'll be. But now that we got through the initial start, Newbigging and Hartz, by the way, is up to second. Jake Nichols still runs fourth. Seth Noel, he was looking very racy on the first restart. Now we'll restart on the inside for this one, so I think we'll see him try to pull another 3 wide down into turn 1 like he did last time out.
I think he knows that a good chance to get these positions is going to be in the opening start. And clearly, as you mentioned, said he's aggressive enough to try to get it done. Wasn't successful that last time. We'll see if we try another move on Nichols, catch him sleeping, get that 4th place spot.
Having a look at the manufacturer spread right now, pretty even. A lot of blue ovals, though, in the top 15. 5 of the drivers are Fords. I think there's 6 Chevrolets and 3 Toyotas, perhaps a little underrepresented here so far. But noticed all the Ford intrusion here this evening.
And the highest of those being Connor O'Kresick in the 14.
Yeah. Again, this guy likes this racetrack. Already showing that he's got what it takes to be up in the mix tonight. Doesn't look like a race-winning car at this particular moment, but still a long, long way to go. There's the 1 to green, so we'll look at them racked up and stacked up. Newbigging's going to choose the inside. I see no reason to take the outside at any point tonight, Finian. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's definitely curious to see these guys on a longer run. Again, we were talking about watching that 91, seeing that long run pace. With all the rate we're going, might end up having that happen. And that could be his, his 1 bullet on the gun gone if we don't have long runs.
Seidenfeiden got 1 of his 3 laps back, so he is 2 laps down now after receiving the free pass.
All right, let's see what these guys got left in the tank. Can we go on a long green flag run here?
I think if we get through 5 laps, I think it'll be 80 before we see another yellow. That's my prediction. Here we go, out of turn 4, pace car pulls off. Newbeginn's in control of this one again, and launches he will, green flag. Kresick defending from Seth Noel. Big dive into turn 3, the 91 of Nichols, way up the racetrack, finding that third groove. See if there's any grip out there, but here comes Brandon Bowie to take that spot and make sure he's got that to stay. Into turn 1, Noel and Kresick, they touch.
Ooh. Guys getting fenders out already, guys. It's only lap 15, but they're going at it. Seth Noel is going to try to gas it on mid-corner to clear Kresick. He does.
Just barely getting that by, and I thought Travis Beckner said this track sucks. Why is he in the top 10? If this track sucks, why is he running up front?
Made up 4 spots already.
Always seems to happen. The drivers who complain about the track the most are always the quickest.
Rafe Slade in the number 8, side by side with Greg Mitchell, who is going backwards very quickly in the early stages. Started 5th, he's lost 11 spots. We haven't even raced that much, Finian.
Yeah, I was going to say, just saw him get into turn 1, got a little bit loose, checked up in the corner, so definitely lost that position to Ray Slate. And yeah, as you mentioned, just going in the right direction, not quite figuring out the car, it seems. He's just struggling to get the car turned down on the corner. You can see there's a lane
the 24! Look out, contact with the 22 in the background. They bounced off each other, but they stay straight, Finian, sorry.
No, you're good. I was going to say, we just saw a little bit of light contact, what that caused, bringing up the last caution. These guys are going to keep going, still battling though between 24 and 22.
Happening right in front of the 7 of Scully, running on board with 24 of Kern, who had that slight contact with DeLeo. Still going at it for the 13th spot.
DeLeo pull even. So close. Everyone's fighting for that middle groove. It's not like Darlington where you're fighting for the top or Bristol where you're fighting for the bottom. It's just everything in between is a tested war ground here, and now the 24 tucks back in line.
They couldn't quite get that moving on the bottom. We'll see if we can try to even get to the top to make something happen. But single file for the most part for most of the leaders. Still some skirmishes going on back through the middle. Alan Balancino, we talked about him early on. Started way back down the order, down 28. He's been trying to move himself back up. Currently 23rd, fighting with, the Dwayne Culberson, 23rd. Alan Balancino to his inside.
Balancino fighting for 23rd in the 24th spot, and then got Gabriel Ellison up there in the new repainted Roasted Gems coffee number 27.
Yeah, I pointed out earlier the other repainted Roasted Gems car, and that's this one, the 17. Really classy color combination, gold, red, and black. That is awesome looking. And Michael Sturgill runs 12th right now after starting this race in 13th, so not a ton of progress. We have seen some pretty big movers there towards the rear of the field with all the chaos we've seen around there.
To see still tight up there in the later part of the top 10. Travis Beckner, Matthew Bell, Cosmo Yoshiwo, and a full nose to tail. Looking at Chris Rabel, currently running at 16, just in behind the 7 of Scioli. He's made a little bit of forward progress back for 20th, up 5 spots.
Ooh, looking a little further in the back. There's David Weissart looking to the inside of the 16, trying to get sent down in there. Ricky Springer in the back. Whoa, almost touched it.
I think they did touch there, Hunter, just the slightest. A little bit of side-by-side action there, but Tom Bourne, David Weissart may be trading a little vinyl there for 17th spot. Galacino pops out of line into turn 3.
Look, again, still fighting with the 81 of Dwayne Culberson. That march up the grid, almost gets into his quarter panel trying to make a move. He's driving very aggressively out there.
Yeah, looking to get another spot here on Culberson as they enter door to door. Gonna lean on him just a little more. Very tight on the corner exit. Don't want to get too close.
Into turn 3. This is where the outside line and the inside line kind of converge, is the entry to turn 3. They both kind of share the same area of the road, but that time through they do a little bit better job of leaving each other space. Culberson, though, has that outside lane. You don't get a ton of momentum up here, though. There's not a lot of banking to lean on. You're carrying a little bit more speed around that upper groove, but it is a lot longer around because of how wide this track is and how tight the radius is of the corner. Good side-by-side battle here that they have not been able to sort.
Nothing quite yet. You're really going to have to throw it in there, being that car on the inside lane. That outside car gets such a good run. Looking up the order, Travis Beckner is trying to make a move on Connor Kresick. They stopped going side by side. Beckner tried to look back to the inside, couldn't quite get anything to work there.
On board with Kresick, running in the 6th spot. Haven't seen him too much this season, but he's come back to New Hampshire and he's making his presence felt close to that top 5, which Seth Noel holds that 5th position.
Seth Noel is making Jake Nichols sweat just a little bit. He's got some pressure building on the 91, but I think the strength of Jake Nichols will come a little bit later in the run, as we've seen most of the time this season. His strengths are in that long run pace, which he hasn't really gotten a chance to show. Here's Tom DeLeo under fire from Rabel, who throws it down into turn 1, and Weishart's watching all of it, the battle with the Fords in front of him.
Yeah, they're in the reverse order in turns 3 and 4. Rabel got loose off of turn 4, and that allowed DeLeo to go around the outside. He's going to be more or less clear here. Rabel can't quite do anything. Now Weishart's going to have his turn and his crack around the outside lane.
Oh, Tom Bourne looking to stick his nose into the mix now. Got really close to that bumper there. Oh, and he's loose. Off of 4, saves it. You mentioned we're going to see that quite a few times tonight. Not only off turn 2, but off turn 4, which you saw with 16 of Bourne.
Reverse order. I like that term, Finian. Nice work. Like that. Good. Reverse. Not as embarrassing. I was at Sebring in September, and there's the Ullman Straight at Sebring. Yep. There's a driver named Rick Euler, and I called it the Euler Straight by accident once. Everybody heard that too. Rick was honored, but look at this battle here. Cosman Yoneshiwu and Rafe Slater leaning on each other for 9th.
Yeah, I think Rafe's not too particularly happy with Yoneshiwu. They were getting aggressive down the back straightaway about a lap or 2 ago. Causing through a bit of a block, so I think they're a bit sick of each other, which is unfortunate because there's 120 laps left to go.
Whoa. Might be a little sick.
He's out for blood.
I'll say. Run straight away, and Michael Sturgill's watching all this out the windshield, hoping he can maybe grab 2 spots for 1.
If he keeps in the 84, then yeah, he'll pick up 2 spots easily.
Oh, big slide for Yoneshiwu, and he bails to the inside. And Rafe Slate will say thank you very much.
Oh, he's not quite clear. Oh, I thought Cosman was going to try to throw it in there to fight with the 8, but he backed out of it.
Like playing with a
firecracker. You gotta be careful to not lose it here on the corner exit.
I think maybe Yoneshiwu doesn't want to play with fireworks here already. Want to light the fuse.
Fireworks up here.
Yep.
Yeah, Beckner was wicked loose off of turn 4, almost crashed trying to keep it up with the 14 on the inside lane.
Oh,
the 14 on Kresick's going to get loose into the 28, and actually that helped straighten him out.
Well, they weren't fireworks, but they were sparklers.
The 9, Matthew Bell, creeping into the mix as these two continue to battle hard for 6th place. Big slide from the 9.
Lose a lot of momentum, so he's going to back out for now. Still, the 28 and 14 are going at it hard, going to do each other again.
My goodness, look at how high they're running up because of how loose their cars are getting.
Big slides in 1 and 2. Beckner can't hang on. He wants by. I think he knows he's faster, sees that gap growing, but has to be a little bit smarter about how he gets around the, I guess, not so tactical approach of running him up the hill. Didn't work once, didn't work twice, but he's going to try it again.
A little further back, Curran and Scioli are going at it for 13th place. Scioli just getting past the 24 machine, and then behind them there's DeLeo and Weishart as the 33 continues his march up the order, up 18 spots.
Oh, and I think Crescent might just tap the wall there out of 2.
Yeah, let's have a look at it.
The spot up.
Oh, big slide into turn 1. They both just charged the entry to 1. That meant the 14 walked up the hill and opened the door for the 28. Watch the entry here.
Man, just gets loose and chases it up, and that kind of throws off his whole
Here comes
lap.
the 9, going to tap the 14. Oh, Bell, wicked loose, manages to save it off of turn 2. That was almost a wreck right there.
Getting physical here, guys. Lap 32 and 141.
I was going to say, this is some great racing. I'm enjoying this.
Well, they got physical before they even crossed the start-finish line, some of them, so you knew it was going to get physical at that point.
Well, they're building
Testing the
confidence
limits here.
at this stage.
Yes.
And I think that's the thing that matters is they've got confidence in the mechanical grip that they have. Not a lot of air to lean on here by any stretch, but now that they know they can kind of push and rub and get in the throttle and back out, we're seeing a lot more aggression out of people, especially on corner entry, which is where these cars, with this independent rear suspension, you'd think they'd have more grip than the past cars, but they're really dancing on the edge.
It really is, and it is a fine edge. You've seen these guys just being able to handle these cars. A lot of guys breaking loose, just like O'Kresick right there. Slate going to move to the bottom, and there is Sturgill right in behind in the number 17 machine, waiting in the wings to pounce.
Kresick still trying to find the edges. He's up in the 4th lane now. Again in 1 and 2. Saw that a few moments
really
ago. He is really struggling to find grip on the car. Sturgill going to try and take advantage of this in 3.
Yeah, not a lot of grip in that 4th groove, and I think there might be some marbles that will be building up there later. So that's just a little bit too much. I think he's just pushing the entry a lot right now to try to carry some better entry speed to cover, but it's costing him on exit and mid corner. Here comes Matthew Bell to the inside, took a swipe. Watched the 17 slide across the nose of the 14, and here comes Bell.
This is going to be tough to try to get off the corner. Whoa, in behind him.
They are all trying to find some sort of grip coming out of 2. Saw it with Bell, O'Kresick, now Yoneshiwu. Look out, it might happen to Greg Mitchell in this order.
Have a championship race here.
I wouldn't go too far.
Yeah, good luck getting the drivers to agree on that.
They won't.
Whoa, for the lead. Newbiging was a little bit loose in 1 and 2. And that's, whoa, he's loose on exit.
Loose.
Whoa.
Tires are burning up, guys. We're a full second slower than we were, and Hartz is there to the outside in turn 3.
Yeah, Newbiging went defensive there to cover the inside of the corner. Here comes Hartz on the outside, Hunter.
I say he might get it here off of turn 4. The hometown kid, Ryan Hartz, takes over as the race leader. Brandon Bowie looking to follow him. And into turn 1 with Newbiging in the middle.
Told you, comers and goers. We're seeing them. Hartz is a comer, Bigging's a goer.
We'll see how far he's going to go down the order here. He's really struggling that 71 machine. I don't think he's going to be able to handle Bowie for too much longer. He's going to try to just throw it to the inside, charge in the corner, but he's just going to burn up his tires even more.
Very tight here off of 4, and there's Bowie looking to the inside. Got a little momentum. Down the front straightaway into turn 1. Going to be tight right here, and not too far behind them. Got Seth Dewell over the bumper of Jake Nichols for 4th, but Bowie, for the moment, clears Newbiging for 2nd.
He's got it, and try to drive away from Newbiging. He's entering a little lower into turn 3 now, just trying to hook that inside line. Caution out to 16 out of turn 2. Third caution of the night. Tom Bourne goes around for a loop. See what happened on the Simrat Market replay here.
Middle 1 and 2 here, riding on the lower lane, and just gets around by himself.
In the throttle a little bit too quick.
Yeah, but the way these guys have been racing, I'm genuinely surprised his caution was not 2 guys getting together. Because they've been going, everyone's been going at it like no tomorrow. Bumping and banging.
Yeah, Bourne had that car destabilized long before it spun. It was already kind of walking around on him. So caution out at lap 39. I expect to see pit stops this time because everyone's going to desperate for tires, and here they come.
I can't imagine we're going to see anything too crazy here. I think everyone's going to come get 4 tires. I would think you'd be an absolute madman to try to risk going for 2.
I think the craziest thing you'll see are drivers sliding over their pit boxes. We've already seen a lot of these guys get loose coming out of 2 and 4. Their tires are absolutely shot. Don't be surprised if we see some overslide their box. Almost all there with Newbiging.
Top 4 all nailed it. Nobody's going to chance it on 2. I just don't think it makes sense. Everyone knows. And the thing is use left side's a lot here. Not a lot of banking. I think Bowie's going to win the race off pit lane. There's just not a lot of banking, so you're leaning on all 4 tires here. I don't think that 2 tires has ever really been a valid call at this place.
No, not really.
Or if anything, you take lefts. So 100 laps.
Oh, Ryan Hartz, I think, just spun. Oh, actually, sorry, no, I was, Ryan Hartz actually spun after the caution came out. I was watching a replay. I thought he spun coming out of the pits.
Well, let's see what happened. Oh, okay, all right. Here's the SimRap Market replay.
I thought I was looking at it live, so
Caution is out, and it just walks on him. Wow. It's been out for a while. Ooh, Newbegin almost hit him, too. That was weird.
That was really weird.
And the other thing, have a look at the sun. It's back out. Track temp's already climbing again.
Uh-oh, that's not what these drivers need.
Well, that was very strange.
I'd say 100 laps to go here at New Hampshire. It's been a doozy of one so far.
Yeah.
Caution before we even got the green. And another caution right after. Then a very spicy green flag run with elbows out. A caution, and then a guy spins under yellow, and now we're going to get to do it all over again. Wow.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm starting to actually kind of warm up to this track now.
Well, when it provides a little chaos, you know? It's like how a lot of the oval guys weren't really sure about road racing until 2012 when they oiled the track down and watched Marcus Ambrose and Brad Keselowski have a go at each other. And then they're like, yeah, all right, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, that finish, though, was more of a rallycross race, let's be honest. With the way they were going through the grass for half the track.
Wow. Oh, boy.
Yeah, apparently here's some grim news.
I was just reading that.
Yeah, apparently Ken Block passed away.
Yeah, snowmobile accident in Utah.
Yeah.
Which is a real bummer.
Horrible start to the year.
Yeah, that's not great. That is a bummer. Well, oh man, that stinks. We're good buddies with the Hoonigan boys, so that's a tough one for them. For Ken's family. We're to go racing though again. Lap 43. We kick things off here with our third restart of the night. Green flag back in the air, racing again from the Magic Mile. Three-car way up the track.
Almost went 3 wide there for a second. Jake Nichols is looking up in the middle as the door opened. Decided to think better of it and just let the door close. Now going to work to the outside of the 71 Newbegin, and Brandon Bowie, though, in the front taking off. Whoa, 71 gets loose, goes up the hill, almost into the 3 of Hearts. He saves it.
That's just going to allow Jake Nichols to rally off the corner and take another position. Got Seth Noel, Travis Beckner, and now the 17 of Sturgill all going by Newbegin.
Look at the 8 of Ray Slate and the 84. They have not let each other go yet tonight. I just have a feeling that this is going to continue to ratchet up in intensity between these two.
Yeah, probably. Definitely no love lost between the two. They're door to door down the back straightaway into turn 3 now. I imagine Slate's not going to give a whole lot of room for the 84.
Well, back in the late model series, we did have 2 drivers going at it for the majority of the race, and it seems like things tend to go in the same trend that these two might have a little run-in later on. Still have over 90 laps left, but yeah, they have not been away from each other.
Oh, spins! The 14! Spinning.
That's going to bring out the yellow.
Saved it, though, didn't hit a thing.
We lose another car down. We did, another car down the straightaway.
Is that Yonishiwu?
It appears to be.
Oh, and apparently he got a bit of a tap from the 8.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
And these two. Off, guys. All right, let's go see what happened to the 14 of Okresic. Out of turn number 2, I think. Oh, was he? He'd get contact from the 8? Nope, he was already crashing. And the 8 just kind of finished him off, and around he went. And then just up the road.
Oh.
And then caution comes right there.
I think he just slowed up a little bit, and I don't think that was intentional. I think that was just...
It was just a coincidence.
That's what everyone's going to say.
Well, one driver who didn't want to see that was Brandon Bowie. He jumped out to almost a 1-second lead over Ryan Hartz after that whole fiasco with the restart, 2 wide, 3 wide action, but we're going to re-rack him, re-stack him here.
All right, well, we got a minute. Let's take a moment. Fans, be sure to check out simwrapmarket.com for custom iRacing paint scheme templates that are simple to use and help you stay more focused on the racetrack. Simwrapmarket. Aaron past the 1/3 mark of this, I believe, about now. 50 minutes remaining. We've had a handful of yellows, but it has been extremely aggressive, and I think the intensity will continue to ratchet here, Finian, as we get closer and closer. Reminder of the playoff picture headed into this one. That was the scenario, but looking at drivers that could affect this, certainly Ryan Hartz is having a good night. Travis Beckner is already in, so he's having a good night as well. Michael Sturgill, where does he sit? Quite in the conversation, it looks like.
Sturgill isn't in it. Neither is New Binging or Brandon Bowie. I don't see him in it either. But these guys are having a strong showing here so far from what we've seen at New Hampshire. And remember, you got to be inside the top 20 in points in order to have that win count towards the postseason eligibility.
I honestly really like that system of just having the guys have to be in the top 20, meaning you have to be at least somewhat consistent in your performance. And then you can at least have that win lock yourself in.
I want to show up on race number 14 and get in.
I mean, in the current system, you can do that. As long as you quote-unquote attempt the rest of the races.
Nope, I just want to show up in race 14. Rush everybody. Be done. Field's already doubled up. We're not yet going back to green, but they are anticipating it. They're antsy.
They're ready to go.
Yeah.
I don't know what was in these guys' lunch and dinner, but they're amped up tonight.
Quick preview of the schedule for the rest of the season. Of course, we have mentioned the forthcoming Pocono and Talladega races next week and the week after. Then we head to Redacted Road on January 23rd, followed by Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Auto Club Speedway, Richmond, and Nashville to finish off the season. I love Nashville. I can't wait to have a season finale there. Feels like a good place to do it.
Actually, we have to see a race in Nashville. Because the one race that we did have, I did not cover. I was not available that weekend.
Nashville's cool looking.
It is cool. I remember, I had fond memories of that track in the old IndyCar game, the IndyCar 2000. Well, I'm talking about a previous existing game, not the car in the current sim.
I'm just messing with you.
Oh yeah,
I have to get a bleeper now.
The car that shall not be named.
I played Bleep Car 2004, and you know. All right, let's try this again. Lap number 50. Brandon Bowie is your race leader. Ryan Hart's been a little bit of a revolving door up front. We'll see how long these guys can hang on to it. Green flag. Ooh, a little pushing and shoving there on the outside row from Noel to Hart's.
Everyone antsy, getting ready to go. A little bit of a shove from Noel. He actually tries to look around the outside. Nichols on the inside of the 3, heading off into turns 1 and 2.
Ooh, very tight. Coming off the corner, always going to be an issue there. Steph Noel, Travis Beckner door to door for 4th, but up front for 2nd, it's Jake Nichols and Ryan Hartz.
Nichols got Hartz kind of in where he wants him to the outside here out of turn number 4. It's going to be a little bit of a drag race down the front stretch, and Nichols clears him for 2nd. I thought this would be a long-run race, but Nichols seems like he's noticing that we could have some short runs, so grab some track position while you can, while the 84 and the 9 and the 8 continue to beat each other's worst enemies right now on the racetrack.
You know, I think with the way the guys have been driving out here, you're going to have to be a little bit aggressive. You can't rely on those long runs coming because we may not get them, especially with the way everyone's driving out here.
Tight coming off of 4. Beckner and Noel still door to door up front. Towards the back, Yonishiwu and Matthew Bell still fighting for the position, and the 71 of New Binging trying to climb back towards the front.
You know, she was trying to kind of shoot a middle gap there between the 71 and the 9. Didn't have quite a big enough run, but the 71 kind of slips on exit and holds up the 84.
Yeah, New Binging's been running on the yellow line, and I don't think it's really going to play out for him in the long term. He just cannot get a good enough run off the corner, riding down there, and he's been a little bit loose, you know, jumping the gun on the gas on exit. So that tail's been knocking out. He's not been getting the runs on the straightaway, so I think he's going to be falling back pretty quickly here.
Unless he can save some of those tires, that's one way to chew him up easily.
Caution,
Senesac.
and Senesac has gone around. Turn 2.
Did he have help?
Front of the 4 of Weaver. Same thing we saw. Previous caution, just car kind of destabilized and around it went.
It's like someone put just a bunch of oil in the inside lane.
Yeah, it's like they gave it, what do they call that? PJ? PJ1?
Well, anti-PJ1,
Anti-PJ1. Had 4 retirements, Seidenfeiden, Poole, Swan, and Bell. Jacob Bell, that is. Everyone else is on the lead lap, which is why our cautions are a little quicker. That extra lap to allow the lap cars to pit if there are lap cars that are on the racetrack.
Oh, yeah, this is some shade being thrown in the chat. And some drivers saying that there's some drivers are having a bit of a skill issue tonight.
Oh man. This is one of those places that I would totally be self-spinning at, so I'm not going to make a comment on that.
Oh, I can't.
So I also spun an NA Miata in first gear.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
So in pit lane. So I should probably not talk. You know that car dynoed at 84 wheel horsepower?
And you still managed to spin it.
Yeah, you know, I wanted to do some donuts on pit exit at Gingerman. And I got half a donut complete. My claim to fame.
Oh God, there's a suggestion from Travis Beckner saying we should go to Lanier next week. With full 40 cars.
This man. Go to Bowman Gray next week.
No, that.
Yes.
That, you know,
I'm all for
honestly,
that.
out of all the short tracks iRacing wants to add, we should absolutely have Bowman Gray. I'm honestly, now that I think about it, I'm kind of surprised we don't have that.
I mean, it's just the LA Coliseum without the Coliseum. Right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's just got more character.
Except it's
I
got
don't
a
know.
grass infield where you can drive across it into oncoming lanes of traffic and ramp people. That's all I ever see coming out of Bowman Gray, so there's that. Does Jake Nichols have winter stickers on his digital car? No, he
That's a shame. He's gonna probably, maybe if he had, he's gonna run out of room.
So Tom McGorman in our Grid Life Touring Cup series, he won 20 races, and we give out winter stickers. And his entire A pillar was completely filled, so he started going across the windshield. Got about halfway across before he ran out of races to wins.
It's like the Fig Newtons.
Yeah, this sticker sure is dangerous and inconvenient.
I sure do love winter races.
I wish I could pull up a photograph easily, but I don't think I have time. All right, 1 to green. Lights are off on the pace car. We'll try this again. Bowie, Nichols, Seth Noel, Ryan Hart's your top 4. We haven't had a ton of movement in the top 5. One driver I am keeping my eye on, though, is this guy, Michael Sturgill. 13th up into 6th. He's kind of penetrated this top 5. And I think he's going to be continuing to climb. I think he's got some pace. He's kept his nose clean tonight. And we haven't really talked a lot about him, but he's up into position here.
Yeah, he's been quietly moving himself up the order, like you mentioned. So I think definitely want to keep an eye on him. Been silent up to this point, but now being inside, just outside the top 5, he's gonna have to start making some noise. See if he can try to poke his way through, maybe even taste the lead here.
All right, field doubled up again after another caution for a single car spin. Had 3 yellows in quick succession here. Lap 38, 45, and 53. It is now lap 58. Brandon Bowie, Nichols, Hartz, Noel, Beckner, Sturgill, Newbegin, Bell, Slate, and Yoneshiwa, your top 10. Green flag and a good restart for both lanes there. Bowie, though, clears the 91 into turn 1.
Yeah, Nichols is not able to get the same restart. Here comes Hart's charging up the inside. That run off the corner, though, I don't think he's going to be able to quite maintain it, as Nichols is going to be clear for second.
Boy, it seems like if you're in the lead, you're in a good position. Whoa, Newbigging in the back, looking like he had a big send there on the bottom. But Brandon Bowie continuing to lead as they try to shuffle themselves out in the back.
Noticing a lot more aggression on corner entry on these restarts. Everyone's chucking the cars in there and slowing them down and driving higher and higher up the racetrack each successive restart, trying to carry as much speed as possible as late as they can into the corner.
Ooh, race lane a little bit loose off the corner, was trying to clear Yoneshiwa, and they're still in their little spat between these drivers, fighting for 9th place at the moment.
Lots of double file here. We hit lap number 60. And it's going to take 5 or 10 laps for this to sort out, and then we'll go 20, 30, 40 laps. I have no concerns about that, but just the initial launch after the restart, everyone's so aggressive trying to carry so much speed. We're almost 3 wide back here.
Yeah, I don't know, Gino's still working his way up through the order, plus 20 spots for the number 70 machine. Chris Raybon is outside trying to defend that spot. Bellacino a little bit loose off the corner. He can't quite get clear.
Ooh, looking back up front, Seth Noel trying to rip the top, as is Matthew Bell in the back there. These two have been battling for quite a while now. Seth Noel, Travis Beckner, all fighting for the 4th spot. Bell completing the pass there on, looks like Doug Newbigging, and the 17 Sturgill watches on.
Good battle here between these two. Getting locked in this door-to-door fight. This is where this racetrack, is kind of multi-groove ability of it is really playing into it. Not seeing quite as much shuffling. I think later in the run is when you start to see people sliding around on the tire, Finian. But fresh after a restart, you're pretty gripped up. We haven't had a couple heat cycles though on these tires, so I'd expect the grip to be gone a little bit sooner than it was in that first long run.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, the
Especially-
17!
There goes Sturgill.
Can he save it?
Oh,
Not quite.
He's spun it out.
He's on the apron though. He'll throttle back up and keep us green. Nope.
Whoa.
On the road course.
Road course counts.
Brings out the yellow.
That's an unfortunate bit of race control, isn't it?
Cue back to Darlington when we had how many cars spun out an inch from the racing line and no caution?
Well, you know what's interesting here is that that part is listed as apron. This part is not. That's why I triggered it.
Just iRacing things.
This is a good-looking car, though, even sideways.
Yeah, I saw him completely send it down here. I'm not sure this was necessarily on purpose. Threw it in there to the inside of 28. I think panicked, jumped on the binders quickly, locked up the front center. He went.
Yeah, I think when you jump on the brakes, it shifts all that weight forward. You're going to lose any rear grip that you had. And when you do that forward shift, there's just not a lot of saving at that stage. You did a good job, though, keeping it out of the wall and out of other competitors. Everyone's back on pit lane here. Well, there's a split call here. It appears that there has been, so we're going to split the strategy a little bit.
I like it. I like it when things get like this. Makes it more entertaining.
You weren't entertained enough?
No. Listen, this track's been very mean to me over the years, and I'm asking for a lot.
Been mean to him. All right, let's take a moment. Fans, be sure to check out, it's been spicy, could you say. Fans, be sure to check out rickshotsauce.com for some of the best hot sauces made locally in South Florida. Be sure to follow the Rick's Hot Sauce Rookie of the Year battle in the Area Cup Series and see who will take home the $100 prize as the highest finishing rookie point standings. I don't know what it is. Every time I read that, I feel like I'm saying hot weird.
No, I don't think so.
Hot.
I think this is you.
Hot sauce.
Very hot.
Hot.
Actually, Kyle, how hot is it on the racetrack?
It is 91.
I don't think it went up since the last time we looked at it.
So I got a new clock, like a little broadcast clock for my sim room, and it has a temperature gauge on it.
Yeah.
24 degrees Celsius in here. Fahrenheit is 75.
White.
It's warm. Holy cow. Melting.
Wait, does it show it in Celsius and Fahrenheit?
No,
or
just
you
Celsius.
Why are you reading in Celsius?
It's all it's got.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You can't switch?
It was cheap.
That's
I don't know. I work with sports cars. I think I should get on the metric system, right? Doesn't that make sense?
No, I know that, but still.
Why is he laughing at me? I'm using the world system.
I haven't heard of a clog being that cheap they couldn't afford a mode to switch to 15.
I mean, I'm sure digitally it could. It just has a printed label that says. But it is 70. I don't need to take. Oh, I'll take off my hoodie. It's hot. Give me a second. Benny, take it away.
Oh yeah. Well, for me, I'm in a basement. It's a lot colder, especially That being, I was gonna say that we didn't have snow, but I'm gonna shut my mouth because I don't want any snow. It's been nice not having a lot of snow. Have you guys had a lot of snow?
Nope. I mean, yes, but it melted before I came back after break.
Yeah, my cousin said that Chicago wasn't. She's living in Chicago at the moment. She said it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, there's none on the ground now.
And knock on wood.
Definitely none in my apartment. I didn't realize it was that hot. I should check my temperature settings.
Yeah, messing with the thermostat.
It's also sitting on top of the computer, which is probably not helping.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of temperature, it's about to rise as we get into the later stages of this race. Nearing halfway, Brandon Bowie on the inside, going to restart as the leader. Jake Nichols on the outside. This should be interesting. How long will we go green? Do we get another caution, or do we see the checker flag fly? Only one answer. Find out after the green flag here in New Hampshire.
Back underway from the Magic Mile. Great clean restart by Brandon Bowie. He's been in solid command the last little bit. 3 abreast of the 71s on fresh tires. He's going to put them to use.
He's going to put them to use. I don't know if he can quite go anywhere here. We might see an incident happen as it's very tight corners off the turn 2. Still 3 wide heading down the back straightaway with Weishart, Jake Nichols, Ray Slate all in the middle. This Ricky Springer as well around the outside.
It's actually brother Tyler Nichols, but it is a Nichols brother, and they are still 3 wide coming out of 4 down the front stretch. Seems like they've gotten it to 2 wide until James Cowley looks to make it 3 wide. Oh, and it looks like they made contact with Nichols, Tyler Nichols in the 41.
Getting very dicey out of turn 2. Lots of pushing and shoving and shuffling here. Different strategies. I don't know if anybody knows at this stage who's on what, but I'll tell you, shallow entries by the 41 and 71, they look like they're about to crash it, and somehow they just stick to the road. The others that are on the older tires don't have that ability.
Whoa.
Rabel sideways out of 4.
That was close, and they're checking up right behind him.
Yeah, that was him. The 29 is getting loose off of turn 4 by himself.
Oh, that's the 4 of Weaver off. They're still trying to get things sorted out back there.
Something tells me they'll be doing that for a while.
Oh, with the way it's looking, yeah, there's going to be quite a while before everyone's kind of settle on some sort of order to tackle this race. Looking at the 71 on the inside of Dwayne Culberson, trying to move up on fresh tires.
Looks like that was Tom Bourne who just clipped the wall back there.
These tires are not doing for Newbegin exactly what I thought. I guess he is making up ground. It doesn't appear that he's Superman at the moment, but he's going forward. Okay, now I take that back. Big dive into 3.
Oh, he's going to get close to the 11, washing up the hill just a little bit. The way he's driving, though, I think he's going to burn them up pretty quickly. Well, he's seen Culberson get a little bit loose off the corner. Here comes the freight train now. Weishart, Springer working the way on through, as well as Ray Slate trying to go through the bottom.
Ooh, Culberson going high.
Oh, Krezek around.
Oh.
Might have had a little bit of help.
Have a look. Second time we've seen Okrezek spin today.
Oh, and the 14 angry at another driver. Think he had some help.
16. Oh, yeah. And there's definitely some contact there. Can't deny that.
Yeah, felt. Ooh, yeah, right there. Felt the 16 was trying to wreck him for the last few laps.
Let's do that. We've got some time. Let's have a look. Oh, man. Yeah, I got it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a little block there.
Little block there, little lock up there, little bump there.
This was going to happen.
Never really pictured New Hampshire as a place where temperatures boil over, but here we are.
Well, That was probably inevitable based on how that was going for those two. So it's been quite the race tonight, hasn't it?
Oh, yeah. A lot of drama, a lot of action, a lot of work for the Edmonds to do.
We are past halfway at this stage. Let's check in and see who's led how many laps. At this stage, Brandon Bowie has led 33, a lot more than I thought, to be honest. Jake Nichols has not led any yet. Hartz has led 4. Then the other that led a whole bunch was Douglas Newbeging, the other chunk, 35 laps. Bowie has been in command. He's been nailing the restarts and hasn't been able to get run down just yet, Hunter.
Sorry, I was drinking my green tea, but yes, very interesting this one has turned out to be. Can Bowie hold off Jake Nichols? I mean, at this rate, with all the yellows coming out, it seems like he's got this one in the bag, unless something drastic happens, unless we get a green flag run, which I'm hoping we can get.
This is one of those short run race deals, I think, at this stage. If we get a long run, I'd put my money on the 91. If we're going to get restart after restart, I think my money's going to squarely go to the 23 Camp Finian. It's just the short run, Jake Nichols, I don't think has the aggression required to get that lead away, something that the 71 or some other drivers might have the ability to do. But we know Jake Nichols is amazing at saving tires, and give him 30, 40, 50 laps to stretch out over a run, he'll be in good shape. The one thing to consider, though, is that at the moment, top 8 cars all have 35 laps on their tires. Subtract 16 for Dom DeLeo running 9th, the highest of those who just pit.
Yeah, actually, DeLeo came in at a
yes.
slightly earlier caution. Everyone else came in 9 laps after DeLeo. He's kind of on his own little strategy in the middle, all of that. But yeah, I am curious though, because we do look at that. Yes, it's 34 laps, but when you think about it, we've had quite a few cautions in the last 30, 40 laps. So, yes, they had some heat cycles in them, but not a whole lot of green flag running, which I think is why we haven't really seen Newbeging make such quick use of the rest of the field.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing how he might have to change his strategy, because it seems like he's not going much. So we got the 1 to green, but I think Kyle wants them to run the road course layout.
How awesome this layout. Ignore this chicane I just did. I forgot where the track was.
Yeah, I was gonna.
and I forgot that this chicane also exists. So it's actually a really fun layout in something like a Skip Barber car.
Yeah, and like very short club and small club racing cars. It's a very fun layout.
And actually, the GR86 Cup car would be a blast there. You need to have a little bit of suspension travel. It's a bumpy road. Might do that after this. I think there's AI for it now, isn't there?
Sorry, I lost internet for a second. I have no clue what you said.
You're ugly. Coming back to the restart, lap 76. Did you hear that?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good. He's back.
I'm back.
Pace car pulls off lap 76 of 141. Race 10 of the Area Cup Series. Brandon Bowie back to green. Troubled 70 car. Ballacino smacks the fence out of turn 4.
I don't know how they're all still going. That was a massive hit for the 70 Ballacino.
Yeah, you just got loose and then had a massive overcorrection into the wall. That car is going to be hurting. He's going to start dropping down the order. That was a really big hit down to the outside of that 71.
I don't think you can get away with that. It's certainly going to cause him some strife here. And for everyone stuck behind him, Delonte Ballard, Jordan Martin, who was spun around really earlier in this race. And caution behind him.
Out.
Mark Patterson in turn 3.
Well, we'll see how this one was brought out.
Oh, did he downshift funky?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Right on board, just listen close. Nope. It just stepped out on him. Yep. I will say, despite the damage model being a little bit disappointing, I will say, watching this car kind of just glance off this wall, that looks about like what I would expect it to look like. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's honestly the best part of the new damage model is just the collision physics just not being completely wonky.
The 51 goes around for a loop and has a little bit of damage to repair. Take another moment real quick. Race recap so far. Had 8 yellows in 79 laps, so 31 of our 80 have been action laps. We've had 3 leaders, 2 lead changes. That's where we stand here. About 60-ish laps to go. Predictions for the tail half of this, guys. Finney, you first.
I don't know. It's kind of tough to tell because, we really don't know how the second half of this race is going to go on. I mean, if it's anything like the first half, it's a bit of the boring pick at the moment. I think Brandon Bowie, he definitely looks like the guy, man to beat tonight. Nichols just hasn't quite been there because, well, he hasn't had enough time to really be there. By the time he gets up and going and on a roll, caution comes out. So he hasn't had much of a chance to really make anything happen.
Well, I'm starting to wonder if these guys are going to be able to make it on fuel. I know we're at a short track, but we're only 79 laps in, and if you're up front, you obviously don't want to risk not getting a track position back. We just keep having yellow after yellow, and we've seen the wrecks happen all over in the middle of the pack and towards the rear. You don't want to be caught up in that from pitting just for fuel.
Yeah, so 40 laps on the tank for everyone that pit just the once. I would imagine they'd have to pit one more time. I would think for those that just pit most recently, they're probably good to the end on fuel, but you're going to want tires. See how that plays out. I think if we get any green flag run of any length more than 15 or 20 laps, I'd expect everyone to make their final stop, assuming that we don't get another similar 20-lap run. I think track position is proving to be pretty important tonight, just based on the fact that there isn't a lot of time to have that comers and goers long run thing we saw early in the race.
Yeah, one thing I will say I'm a bit surprised by is Ryan Hartz haven't quite seen a whole lot out of the 3 machine. He's been kind of hovering around 3rd, 4th place all race long, hasn't really gotten up to the upper echelons, hasn't really tasted the lead yet. I think he has tasted the lead, just not for that long.
He was in 2nd and kind of hightailing the Newbegin machine. Got up in the lead at some point, but just really hasn't been able to get back up in that lead. And kind of like what you mentioned there, Finney, with Jake Nichols, just hasn't had the green flag laps to get settled in and get in on the run. Because if you remember, when Hartz took the lead, it was on the later stage of that long run that we had early on in the race. So if we got a long run here, it could be an interesting battle between Jake Nichols, Ryan Hartz, and others. But at this rate, I don't know if we'll see that. I hope we see that because we had some pretty good racing on that green flag run.
Temperature dropped a couple of degrees. The clouds are back over the speedway, and I think the sun is getting a little lower in the sky, which should help things out a smidge. Magic Mile has been full of witchcraft for a lot of drivers tonight. For Bowie, though, it has been blue skies. Despite the clouds going back green, lap 82 underway again from New Hampshire.
Poor restart by the 23, couldn't get going there. And he checked up the field, was getting bumped by the 1. Here comes Nichols working around the outside. Oh, and Nichols actually got a black flag.
Oh, and out of turn 2, he's going to try to battle for this lead, but did he jump the start?
Well, this is a stunning development if this turns out to stick with the 91 of Jake Nichols. Really, you haven't seen him make a whole lot of mistakes, and he might have just made one. We'll have to wait for further evaluation in the next few laps.
Front straightaway, Nichols has the lead, at least for the moment. Here comes Seth Noel around the outside.
Yeah, and it looks like Evans aren't clearing it, so Nichols said he's going to pit this time by.
This will be interesting.
On board with the bumper of Jake Nichols as you watch the field go by. He's going to come down pit road and serve this black flag, which this will derail his chances of winning, at least for the time being. But up front, this gives Seth Noel an opportunity to take the lead heading into turn 1.
Yeah, he's going to just push as hard as he can to use this outside groove here. He's got Beckner and Hartz battling behind him, so he's got great opportunity without a whole lot of risk to lose a spot. But side by side down the back straightaway, Bowie and Noel door to door into turn 3.
And all sending it in turn 3 to the outside, trying to just see if he can get that momentum. 23 trying to see if he can clear a mid-corner. He can't, lose a lot of run on the exit. Here comes the one charging down the straightaway. He can't get cleared just yet.
He'll lead that lap, but will he lead any more as he heads into turn 1, throws it up high to try and clear. Ryan Hart's getting
trouble
close.
behind him. Newbeginn's around and in the traffic, gets clobbered by the 17.
Garrett Green got into the wall as well.
Oh,
Right in the middle of that battle for the lead, too. Man, oh man.
71 was having an okay night. Remember, he had led some laps and came down to pit lane on a different strategy, but there'll be some big damage here for the 71. Just goes in really shallow on the 70 here. Just can't keep the line, loses it, and then comes back across the road, and then pow, 17 drives into the side of the door.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt the car. That kind of hit to the 17. So 17 aggressively to the inside. Trying to see get clear of the corner, then car spinning up ahead, and unfortunately picked the wrong spot.
Not much you could do there if you're Sturgill in the 17.
And while all that was happening, here's what the leaders were dealing with.
Ryan Hart's got really close to that quarter panel there of Beckner, and Bowie was just in front when the caution came out. It was a really good battle shaping up for the first 4 spots.
Watch, here's the battle. Watch the lights on the side of the wall here. And there it is. Just had the nose ahead.
Yeah, this actually was really helpful for Nichols. He was actually still on pit lane when the caution came out, so helped him out a little bit. He's only 1 lap down.
Yeah, that's huge for Jake Nichols. He only has to beat Mark Patterson, who's right in front of him, and then he'll be in a free pass position. And we know that we're going to get more yellows, so he's probably got his night saved. The challenge is making up spots when you're not getting enough green flag runs.
Yeah, and so it's going to be a while before we probably see this 91 near the front. We'll have to wait and see how it is. But that was a huge turn of events there. Him getting a black flag. We don't really see many mistakes out of the 91 of Nichols. So see this one, not only just a small mistake, but a massive mistake, because he went from potentially leading this race to now pretty much dead last of the guys that are running and a lap down.
Not over yet for Jake Nichols. If we, like I said, we keep getting this caution after caution, he'll be back on the lead lap, but how will he be able to make his way up towards the front?
I mean, to be fair, he doesn't have a whole lot to lose.
Right. 6 wins on the season. He could drive up on the catch fence, and I wouldn't blame him for giving that a go. By the way, do you guys remember, Finney, you must remember this, a couple years ago when the physics were pretty borked and you could drive a COT around the catch fence at Centripetal Circuit?
Yes.
You could get the COT Cup car up to the wall. You'd climb the wall with the tire, get up sideways, and then just hammer down, and then the centripetal force of you driving around would let you climb up the wall onto the fence and drive sideways like you're some Red Bull F1 stunt, pretty much indefinitely.
Yeah, I remember that. Those good times.
It almost feels like something the Max Bance guys would do as a race.
I'm sure they probably would have if they could have. If they could have hosted races in Centripetal, they definitely would have.
They should let you host races at Centripetal Circuit.
That'd be interesting.
I'd be all for more fictional tracks if they had a use like that. You know, like just one long straightaway. You know, like a drag sort of setup.
Yeah.
Or like a test track like Avis, super long that had hairpins at either end. You know?
Oh, that would be fun. I just want some like stadium super truck style tracks. Just put some jumps on a road
They did.
course.
They have that. You just can't download it publicly.
Yeah, well, it's on the
Auto Club.
commercial.
Yeah, it's on the commercial licensed iRacing. There is a stadium truck jump version of Auto Club Speedway. So that's fun. And it is excellent. All right, restarting now, lap number 90 of 141, closing on 50 laps to go. Brandon Bowie has been the restart master until the last one. If he tries it again. Good launch that time.
Much better start this time by Beckner now in behind, now fighting to the inside of the one of Seth Noel, heading off to turn one. Can't quite get there. Noel's actually going to clear the 28.
Thought he hated this place.
Yeah, like I said, all the drivers who complain about the track always seems to be the fastest. So we're seeing that with Beckner running in third with the 3 of Hearts right behind, but back for 5th, he ended up right behind Anana Bell.
Shiwu and Bell leaning on each other just a little bit. Delonte Ballard and David Weishart having a similar fight. And Ricky Springer, who has a win this season, we haven't talked a lot about him tonight, right in the mix inside the top 10 here.
Yeah, he's been up and down the order a little bit, or just outside the top 10. He's been in the conversation, though, in the thick of the field for most of the night. Now trying to see if he can go to the inside. He's going to make it 3-wide. Thought of it. He's going to think of it again. Backs out of it. Oh, can't quite decide. Gets into the back of Tyler Nichols in the 21. Sorry, Delonte Ballard in the 21.
24 of Kern with a run on the outside, looking to give challenge to the 18 of Springer. He's got packers from all over the place. He's got Kern on the outside, Jordan Martin on the inside. Well, might be in a tough pickle here as we look a little further back. There is Tom Bourne, the 16. Bryce Senesac in the 09.
A lot of shifting and shuffling, just keeping the eyes peeled in as many places as we can. Scioli up the racetrack almost into Rafe Slate. But this is looking pretty volatile back here, and so I got my eyes kind of peeled.
Yeah, they all still double file up. No one can really decide on where they want to be in the order as the laps start to tick down.
The other thing that complicates all this is we're hearing drivers shift. And these cars don't like just being downshifted. You need to rev match that downshift. It's basically a manually operated sequential. The challenge with that is that you need to rev match properly. And that it can be a challenge, especially at an oval when you've got the car loaded up and then you shock the transaxle, and you're going to be in for a hard time.
Battle for third place brewing between Hart and Beckner. They're side by side going at it into turn 1. Hart trying to gas it up on the exit of the corner. Beckner still fighting as well as they drag race down towards turn 3. And even behind them, Matthew Bell waiting in the wings.
Bell, Yoneshiwu, and Weishart are all waiting in the wings as Beckner and Hartz continue to battle door to door for third off the corner. Right on board with Bell, and Noel and Bowie liking what they're seeing. They're both checking out. Bowie, 8/10 of a second lead over Noel, who has about 6 to 7 tenths between this battle.
The drive off from the 9, little slip by the 28. Definitely a 3-horse race for third place.
And then we mentioned David Weishart. What a run for him from 34th up 27 spots up into 7th place.
Oh, Hart's trying to clear Beckner off the corner. He'll be able to do so now. That's going to open the door for Bell to send it down in, going into 1. Going to get a little tight here. Beckner running up near that 4th groove on the track. Bell trying to stick his nose down in, close to making contacts. They come out too.
Oh, Ballard just bounced off the fence out of turn 2, just in the background of that shot. We watch this battle continue. Bell now has the upper lane, but Beckner has the advantage for 4th.
Yeah, Beckner is being aggressive there off of 2. Pinched the 9 down on the exit. So Bell, let's see if he's going to return the favor, be as aggressive with the 20 here to try to get that 4th place spot back.
We're looking around here with Dom DeLeo. Gotta think if you're Jake Nichols, you're like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Now you don't want to wreck when I'm the lucky dog?
I was just thinking that. And he's going to be trapped and running out of laps if these guys keep this up. But the aggression level is still there. Jordan Martin gets rooted up out of the group by the 70 of Balacino. This is for 11th. Good race off into turn 1, braking battle. But this is kind of the point in the run. Just a couple laps in where we start to see the tires burn up. Keep in mind, the guys out front have 58 laps on their tires and like 12 heat cycles from all the restarts. Their tires are going to be running out of grip here pretty soon, and they'll be slipping and sliding around trying to hang on.
Yeah, absolutely. As you look at Skyler now working the inside of Jordan Martin. Come flying off the corner. Martin's going to win that fight right now. Skyler's still trying to make a move.
still looking. Skyly and Martin, Michael Curran right behind.
Well, you want to hear some bad luck? Some bad luck coming towards Jake Nichols. Douglas Dubing's really slowing off the pace as we saw him get severe contact in the last caution. He's about to go a lap down.
Yep. And
which in that case, for Nichols' luck, we'll have a yellow within 5 laps.
Or sooner, or a lot later. It's going to happen. Well, it's going to have to happen later now because he's a lap down. That means he is in the free pass position. While others battle fiercely for positions out of turn 2, Ballard and Ballacino. Ballacino grabs a spot and look behind him still. Rabel, Ellison, Bourne for 16th.
We're down really looking to the inside of Michael Curran, just up ahead of them as well. Guys still fighting hard for position here now with just about 40 laps to go.
Well, something's happening up here, and
71 slow off pace.
Yep. Just trying to stay out of the way of the drivers fighting for a position. Don't want to be a thorn in the side. And speaking of thorn in the side, Weishart, thorn in the side of Yoneshiwu, trying to take away the 6th position.
Throttles up mid-corner, gains some good mid-corner speed, and makes that pass look easy. Weishart's got fresher tires than Yoneshiwu, which probably aided in that. And behind them, Ballard and Scioli. Similar situation here. Ballard on older tires, Scioli on newer. Weishart, by the way, is the highest running driver on that new tire strategy.
Yeah, definitely making some solid use out of those tires. Making really solid forward progress up to the 6th, knocking outside the door of the top 5.
Ooh, Garrett Grant close to the bumper of Ellison there, the 27. All these guys trying to fight for grip and position, and we're seeing the fight right here with Bell, Beckner, and David Weishart still moving on up.
He's got a good run coming. He's finally able to use these fresher tires to the inside of the 9 of Matthew Bell.
Yeah, Bell got really loose off the corner just a while ago. That's why we saw Beckner get by. Now Weiser just about to complete the pass, but Bell's still playing a fight on that outside lane.
The tires have not been as big of a deal as I would have thought, Hunter.
No, I thought they would be more of an advantage for Weishart. I mean, he's still slowly moving on up. I thought it'd be more noticeable.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the fall off in pace. Brandon Bowie's got 62 lap old tires and is only running 8/10 slower than his best lap. So the fall off happens quickly, but it doesn't happen a lot. And that's what's making the difference here.
Still a solid battle side by side. Bell trying to work that outside lane. You see Weiser, he was starting to struggle on the inside, getting a little bit of loose, a little bit of a bobble off of turn 4. Early contact, 33.
Oh, what a drive, keeping that in. Like I said, some people are mailmen and some people are wheelmen. And the 33 of Weishart is a wheelman. He's got Yoneshiwu, another wheelman, looking to the inside.
Yeah, they're creating a little bit of a stack up now. Ballacino and Slater also on fresher tires. Yoneshiwu is not. This might create, well, you see it there. The 84 wiggling and wobbling. We're 3 wide for a moment. Now we're back to 2 wide. Here comes Ricky Springer.
Oh, there's his best buddy, Rafe Slate, joining in.
I was just about to say, look out now. I don't think there's any bad blood, or we hope not.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they're all loose together as well. They're charging hard and loose.
It's fun watching them get deep into these green flag runs, having to really work for it. These two buddies side by side again.
See how long this lasts.
Plenty of space.
Yeah, watch the corner exit, though.
Look at us pulling a Rick Allen. Oh, there's going to be drama. Nope. Makes the pass. Tom Bourne and Greg Mitchell. Here's a name we hadn't really talked about in a while. Started this race in 5th. He just has not had the pace tonight. Trying to catch that group just ahead of him that's scrambling for about 15th spot.
Yeah, it was a race that started off very well for him. Not, as mentioned, not so much in this later part. Still running inside the top 20, but compared to where he was, would be hoping for better.
Well, Newbigging has fallen to 31st, meaning that Jake Nichols is once again the free pass car if we do get a caution. Valentino looks to the inside of Weishart. Both drivers trying to move up towards the top 5. Weishart lose. Valentino leading, coming through 3 and 4. Got the spot for the moment.
Closing in on the final 30 laps of this race. I'd expect that the leaders would have made their pit stop by now if they had to pit. I think they're going to try to go all the way to the end here.
I completely missed. We completely missed an incident. There was a spin off onto pit lane by Delonte Ballard.
Saw some smokiness.
I was trying to investigate what that was. Delonte Ballard got loose off at turn 4, spun in front of the pits about 4 laps ago.
Got it.
There it is.
There it is.
That was 2 clicks of the 60-second replay button.
I was going to say, that was perfect timing.
It's like I've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
That was actually complete luck. But yeah, just slipped and slide, and round he went. And it was on the apron, so it didn't trigger the caution, and we carry on and continue.
I'm interested in how that didn't bring out a caution, but the spin in the middle of 3 and 4.
I think
just don't question it.
Well, I think the reasoning is because iRacing considers the apron, but the road course is considered racetrack somehow, as Newbeginn's in the wall.
Blame Manor 2003.
He's just in there hot. I think it's probably just a track tagging thing because you can tag asphalt as either racetrack or not racetrack. And I think they probably just left that patch as considered racetrack. It's also part of the pit entry, isn't it?
Whoa,
Yes.
she was wobbly coming out of 2.
Oh, man, this is getting dicey.
They're getting to the point of the stint where the tires starting to wear out. Everyone's a little bit loosey-goosey.
Didn't these two ever
Especially
run
because
in
they're trying to be aggressive.
back in Iowa, too?
Probably.
I believe so. Becker's had a run-in with quite a bit of drivers. Now he had a run-in with Weishart. He's all over the bumper of Rafe Slade trying to drive away from him.
Up for the lead, Ryan Hartz, who we documented earlier, really hadn't had the pace to lead the race, is slowly tracking down Brandon Bowie. And he is getting hot at the right time, I'd say.
Yep, cue the Jaws music. Although, honestly, with the luck he's been having, we're probably going to get a caution before he has a chance to try to take the lead here. We'll see, though. I'm sure he probably knows that he can't wait too long before something happens.
I heard some knocking on wood. Here he
That's
comes.
I say, he's my pick. It's his home track. You always got to show out for your home track. We saw Ricky Springer doing it in Atlanta. And for the lead, Ryan Hartz shuts the door on Brandon Bowie. He's going to try and cross over. Doesn't have that sort of run. So Ryan Hartz back into the lead here. Less than 30 to go from New Hampshire.
Getting hot at the right time with the Rick's Hot Sauce car. Meanwhile, for third, Seth Noel and Alan Ballacino scrapping for position here, getting real tight and tidy out of turn number 2.
Yeah, we're getting close on the quarter panels here. Whoa, and Higgs, you see Ballacino's wrecking off the corner, trying to avoid the one.
Look at Don Baleo moving up inside the top 10. Where did he come from?
I'll tell you exactly where he came from. 11th.
He was around 15th for the majority of this race, and he's picked it up.
Ricky Springer and Jordan Martin for 12th.
Yeah, they're getting close and comfortable off of turns 3 and 4. Still side by side into 1. Springer's struggling to get on the power. You know, a lot of guys are struggling to get on power on that outside lane.
Where it gets fun.
You call it fun. Other drivers call it miserable.
Well, I'm not out there right now, so I can call whatever I want. So, tell you what, though, Ryan Hartz, as soon as he got to the lead, he is now putting down some of the best laps on the racetrack. Not the fastest right now, that's Alan Ballacino, but some of the best laps on the racetrack, and he doesn't have that long to have to hang on to, about 14 minutes. If they just can stay green to the end, he'll be in great shape, I think, at this particular moment. We watch Tommy Ryan and Michael Curran go at it for 16th.
Yeah, I mean, Alan Ballacino's not too far behind. The number 3 is sitting in 3rd place. Look at Ryan diving the inside of that 24.
Yeah, Tommy Ryan has had a handful tonight and up to 16th after starting all the way in the back. Very solid showing there for the 99. Jake Nichols in the 91 still looking for that yellow to put him back on the lead lap.
Well, at Darlington, the racing gods gave him one, I think. The luck that he had in that one. And I think tonight they might have taken one from him. Look at this battle. Seth Noel, Matthew Bell for 4th place.
Oh,
and
up ahead of them.
Ballacino and Bowie.
Yeah, I was going to say that I saw them closing in for quite a while, and not going to be much of a contest there. So 70 now clear to 23. So this is interesting. You were mentioning earlier that 70 was putting the fastest laps out there. Well, he's now up to second place. So if he can continue that pace to catch the 3 Ryan Hart's. That doesn't have a whole lot of laps, though.
And here's the critical piece. Last pit stop was 32 laps ago. For Ryan Hart's, it was 78 laps ago.
Oof.
So Valentino is the only one right now in the top 5 that has those fresher tires. But with some clear racetrack, he might be able to run down that 1.2 second gap.
And looking back for the poll question for tonight was, will there be a new winner? And the winners we've had so far this season are Fechner, Jake Nichols, James Skylerly, Ricky Springer. If you selected no, that we will not have a new winner, well, I got bad news for you. Everyone inside the top 8 has yet to win.
Oh, spin!
Race this
Turn
season.
3,
Oh.
DeLeo's around. Caution.
Oh,
All right, well,
top 7.
throw that all out.
Well, yeah.
So I
hold on to that.
actually think Ryan Hart's like to see that. And here's why. Valentino's going to run him down. Now he's got restarts, a chance for them to keep throwing yellows out. He's got that advantage on the restart. I like this for the 3. I don't think he had enough tire to outlast the 70, but assuming that everyone doesn't pit here, which I think might not be a bold assumption, or might be a bold assumption, but assuming everyone doesn't pit, Hart's is going to have that restart advantage, and as long as they keep getting restarts over and over to the end of this race, which is only 21 laps from now, he might be set. Now, does everyone come to pit lane or not? That's the real question.
Okay.
And here they all come.
Yeah,
I
Valentino's
would
going to come in. Someone might stay out to try and lead a lap, but
Jake Nichols is going to get the free pass, by the way, just in time.
he will get the free pass. But the only other time we saw drivers come down pit road, the leader entering pit road was not the leader coming out of pit road. So critical stop here. Don't want to overslide the box, which is exactly what Ryan Arch just did.
Oh, no.
It's exactly what he just did, not what you want to see.
Well,
Oh, Skylerly looks like he took 2.
That's a
Oh, he
2-tire
definitely took
stop.
2.
Valentino is going to beat
gonna
the
take
3
it.
out.
oof.
Wow.
So 2-tire
Looks like Hart's is going to
stops.
fall back to 5th on that.
Skylerly was the only one that took a 2-tire stop. I like it. He wasn't really competitive, so throw something at the wall and hope it sticks.
I think DeLeo stayed out to lead a lap, and now he's going to come in and pit.
That is probably the expectation. So we got a moment before we re-rack him, restack him, and reset here. Fans, be sure to check out area iRacing.shop for merchandise to represent your favorite driver. Shop from our selection of t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, and more. Use code SWAN for 10% off your order at checkout. That's SWAN, 2 N's, area iRacing.shop. Okay, so Scioli going to restart as your leader. Ryan Hart's will be 4th. Be Balacino and Bowie 2nd and 3rd. Matthew Bell 5th. I said all of those drivers completely out of order to confuse everybody. Who is your pick, Finian?
This is a tough one. This is quite a tough one. I got to say probably that 23. I picked him earlier on when he had the lead. He doesn't have the lead, sitting in 3rd place. He was a really strong competitor. I think he pushed maybe arguably a little bit too hard in the last run, but I mean we're not going to have that much of a run left. We're going to get a restart with 18 laps to go, so he's only got to go 18 laps. So I think that 23 is going to be my pick.
Hunter.
I'm going to stick with the 3 of Hearts. I still feel like something's bound to happen where he'll be back in it. Although he's gotten the lead on long run speed, he's going to need something to happen on the short run speed. And if you don't think Ryan Hartz wants to win at his home track, you are on something. I will say that. So I'm sticking with my pick, the 3 of Ryan Hartz. I still think there's some left in the tank.
I'm going to go with the 7 of Scioli. I think he's got the advantage of the restarts. I think we're going to get some more cautions with some late dives here late in this race. I think he's going to ride it out all the way to the checkers. I think the 2-tire call wins this, even though I was against that call earlier tonight. Don't listen to me ever. Only in the moment. I cannot be relied upon. I like the restart advantage is so enormous.
Oh yeah,
even more than it was previously.
But we'll see. We have not seen what 2 tires are like. We've already seen these guys are loose. I can't imagine that the imbalance of tire life is going to do him any favors with the grip, but we'll see. He's only going to last about 18 laps. He has enough to hold off a very hungry and a very aggressive field behind him.
Alacino is chomping at the bit as well. Chevy, Toyota, Ford all represented in the top 5. Here we go. Green flag back in the air.
That outside line did not go.
Abysmal start for the number 70 of Alan Bellacino. 23, who's going to get by here? It's absolute chaos into turn 1.
Seth Noel looking all the way on the outside as they were stacking up in that restart. Kylie hoping this can last for the next 18 laps or so as the field rolls into 3 and 4. A lot of hungry competitors behind that 7.
I will say so. 23 slots into second place. Everybody scatters out of turn. They're 4 wide back there. That ain't going to work. Oh, they're going to crash. No, they don't. The 22 is in the middle of all of that, and they bounced off each other enough times to let each other know they were 4 wide. Single it out as we got this battle for second back underway.
Oh, Ballantino gassing it up hard to the inside. Almost wrecks trying to get to the inside of the 23. Couldn't quite do it that time. He's going to have a bit of a look. The 23 is going to block into turn 3.
Very tight racing up here for second because they are all catching the 7 of Skyly. Those 2 tires don't think they're going to last much longer unless we get a yellow here, which we almost did. We'll watch the back a lap ago. And by the way, at the very bottom of that was Jake Nichols, so he is a man on the mission as well, trying to get back towards the front.
24th place right now. Scioli trying to hang on. He needs that 70 to keep the pressure on the 23, otherwise it might be game over. And Weishart taking a look to the inside for third.
Oh.
Bit of a look, scared the 70 out of it, at least a little bit for the 33 to get to the inside.
Caution.
Caution.
Galante Ballard. Oh, and more. The 5 of Grant turned around.
Wow.
So this is the kind of thing that was going to save Scioli. His restart after restart. Galante Ballard goes around for a loop. Here's what happened.
Almost 2 wrecks in this here. This is, I think, the main part that brought out the yellow.
Oh no, Jake Nichols had a piece of it.
Oh man, and you also want to take a look at the 29. Chris Rabel went for a little bit of a ride.
This is a little north of that accident.
And nearly around the same time, he got loose. Caused the 5 of Garrett Grant to spin out of control and into the 91.
Well, the 91 team, they might just take that car down pit lane and beat out the panels with the 6 trophies they had from earlier in the season. Got enough of them now. They're just using them as blunt force objects to jam that bodywork back into shape, but that's what you do when you run out of space on the trophy shelf. He's got all last season. He's taking up all the space. Anything is a hammer if you want it to be hard enough.
That's a quote.
I really enjoy Carter Coop's admin commentary tonight. Gives us updates on penalties and the situations each time there's an accident. Earlier today, the 51 car imitates a washing machine. EOL on the way. Lap 126, 5 and 21 have a horrible dinner, and it's been decided they never talk again. No penalty.
I just noticed that. That's really funny.
Carter Coop, given the effort. After all this, only 5 retirements. So Kresick, Seidenfeiden, Poole, Swan, and Bell. Other 32 drivers still on the racetrack. Only 2 drivers are any sort of laps down. Newbegin 7 laps down. Andrew Player is 9. I bet you James Scioli feeling pretty smug right about now, guys.
Nah, I wouldn't be smug too early. He still got. We saw that. I think a lot of the advantage he had that last restart is because everyone in behind him was going ballistic, trying to pass one another, and he was just able to enjoy a little bit of a lead. I think unless they're going to be battling amongst themselves, like for second on back, I think he might be very much under risk of being attacked in this last. Well, I shouldn't say this last restart. This next restart.
Might have to light one of them Dandel's candles on the restart here.
Yes.
Get out of Dodge. By the way, I just, for the first time, lit up a candle the other day since I got my cat. I was like, I don't know, it's probably a cat will probably set himself on fire. Turns out cats are pretty good at not setting themselves on fire and actually being pretty afraid of fire. So that's good.
Years of evolution for it.
Yep. I guess it'd be really dumb if like evolution told them, yes, go towards the thing that's going to set you alight. But if you saw the other things this cat did, you might not think that was so silly to think. So
no, I do agree with you that I would think something similar to you and want to just leave them around an open flame.
I have one of those like interior little fireplaces, like it's a little metal box that has a place where you put some fuel, and then it makes a little fire, and that's awesome. That's like a full-on like 8-inch wide flame, and I'm not worked up to that confidence level yet, but we'll see. He'll only set himself on fire once, then he'll realize it's a real bad idea. So I'm not worried about the cat. I'm worried about everything else he'll set on fire while running around on fire. So
that's an image.
Cats are chaos.
So this is restart, probably.
Yep, I'll bet. 11 laps is all we've got left tonight from New Hampshire. The Magic Mile has been demonic for many tonight. Mix up a pot of potion. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Lap 131. And the 7, by the way, took the outside lane for that restart, and he is gone.
I was going to say, he kept the 23 sleeping.
Well, he didn't keep the 33 sleeping. Weishart is all over his tail. Rafe Slate, Matthew Bell, very tight racing there as they come off the 2. Weishart looking to make a move for the lead.
Lots of scattering. Look at that 91 battering his way through up to the top 20 now and continuing to try to make this climb with now just 10 laps to go this time. By caution out in the background. And it's DeLeo again, I think, that's gone around.
Yep.
Yeah, had some help off of turn 4.
Oh, they go back a little further. 81 of Culberson right to the quarter panel here. And to the inside of the 5.
Oh, and there was a wreck after the caution in turns 1 and 2.
Oh, yep, there was the 22.
You want to mark Patterson involved.
Right here, comes down the racetrack, gets tagged by the 4. Wow, Delonte Ballard did a great job missing that one.
Yeah, I heard him yelling about something on the radio. I'm like, what happened? And I looked and I saw a car turned around the other way.
So, I like my pick.
Pretty good.
Well, it was under attack more, so that last restart. So I feel like at some point the luck's going to wind out.
We've seen this kind of be the case a couple times this year where we get like the last 30 laps and we've had a couple incidents here and there, and then it seems like drivers have figured out that if they take a 2-tire or no-tire stop, take the track position call, get out front, they can get into position where they control the restarts and all the chaos happens behind them until the checkered flies.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Sky got really lucky with this last restart, it being a caution. It's just going to wind out even more laps. I think with this next restart, he's sitting pretty good. If he can just try to manage Weishart, Bowie, and potentially Hartz, I think he should be good. And he now it's now within a number of laps where I think he can successfully put up a defense. We'll see, though, how aggressive these guys get behind him. I don't think Weishart may do anything. Bowie, we've seen being pretty aggressive, and especially Alan Malachino, that 70. He can try to get up there, though he's back in 5th.
I think Weishart, although he might not do anything, and he is the boss for James Skyley, I still feel like he wants to have a shot at winning. And even if that means moving the 7 of his own car out of the way, I think he might do it. But, he still wants to win. But this is going to be an interesting restart because the 7 restart on the outside.
Yeah.
So
that's
going to put the... If he does this restart, then Weishart's going to be to the inside, and he's going to have Ryan Hartz going to restart right behind him because he's sitting in the 4th spot.
That was the other thing I was going to mention was the outside restart call was a very unique one. Now, with the 33 up in the mix, he'll make that same call. Be a 5 lap to go on the restart, which means that if we get another caution, that will actually be our green-white checkered attempt.
Oh, we're probably going to have 2 restarts.
Safe
Makes
guess.
you say that.
Well, I don't know, Kyle. You want to pull up the race recap? Take a look at how many cautions you had.
Well,
oh wow, that's a lot more than I thought.
47 of our 135 have been
I
cautioned.
didn't even think we were in the double digits. I thought we were at like 8 or 9.
No, we are indeed in the double digits.
We had 2 before lap 10, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah, that's true, yes.
Now we had a nice stretch of green flag racing and haven't gone back to that. Don't think we will get back to that. Nice long stretch.
We'll get a nice long green flag run on the haulers back to the shops.
Yeah, you're going to have to fix all the wrecked race cars.
You guys ever had those chocolate coins that are in that gold foil?
Yes.
Pretty good.
Love those.
I got a chocolate orange for Christmas too. I can't wait to get into that.
Chocolate orange?
Yeah,
You're gonna have to go for it.
it's a chocolate thing that's shaped like an orange, but it's like built into slices.
Uh-huh. Is it orange flavored?
Yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
Chocolate and orange is a great combination.
Are you eating it right now?
I'm eating one of the coins right now.
Oh.
Orange, did you say orange chocolate?
Yes,
Yeah,
orange
man.
chocolate. It is actually surprisingly good.
It's really good. You should try it.
I will
I'll
push
ship
that
you
to
some.
the side.
No, I won't, but I'm going to say I'll do that. All right, guys. 5
Back
laps
the
to go.
green Here.
Here we go.
Got the restart. Green back in the air. Oh, jumping to the outside. Seth Noel. Again.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah,
making
it's
use of that upper groove there, Finian.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seemed like both lanes were kind of caught napping there on that restart.
Wow.
And they heard some carnage occur, some bumpers, some wall scraping, and the 91's down on the apron trying to make something happen here as everyone scatters across the back straightaway.
Look at the 91.
Oh, my
5,
goodness.
6 spots gained in one corner there for the 91.
That's a Louisiana dive bomb if I've ever seen one, without reckoning.
That was wild. 4 laps to go now.
Brandon Bowie fighting hard on the outside right.
Ooh,
Hard.
slide, lock up for the 16. Shoves the 99 up the racetrack in turn 1. He's going to slam him in turn 2 now.
Uh-oh. That's not going to end
Oh.
well, probably.
Oh, whoa.
Mabel.
There goes Grant down to the inside as well with all this going on.
Oh, up in the front, Al Malancini to the inside of Brandon Bowie. Some contact as both of them are wrecking loose in 3 and 4. Bowie going up the track, almost going to get turned by Beckner as he gets in close quarters, as well as Ray Slate.
3 to go here, and Weishart holding on to second. Bowie sliding up the track. Ryan Hart's, all he can do is watch. He's got to make him make a move with the bumper, but feels like something's bound to happen towards the back.
Coming to 2 laps to go. Scioli's got a little bit of a lead over Weishart, but it is all hands on deck. Elbows out back here. Look at Ray Slate and Bowie. And Palacino, rather. 2 to go.
Balchino got a poor
they're
run up
touching.
turn 4, smoking sideways, wrecking down the front straightaway.
Stretch. Everybody's still going, but they're scattered. They're going to have to make the corner. Ryan goes into the 1. They are still going.
No way we finish that.
I think we
For the
might.
lead, guys. Back straightaway. Here comes Weishart to the inside of Scioli. Coming back to the white flag. Door to door as everybody scatters behind him, scraping away for positions. White flag is waving. Side by side with the 33 and the 7.
I'm amazed Skyler can still
Caution.
put up a fight. Ooh.
And the race
Caution.
will extend.
Wow.
Wow. Barely. And there's cars struck all over the front stretch. Garrett Grant, the 37, Jeff Ryan. Oh, my goodness.
Let's see what happened to the 30. Whoop, there it is. Well, the 64 bounces off the 37. That's part 1. Part 2. 37, all on his own. Hits the wall, and I think he's going to tag.
No, the 5's already.
Oh, actually, wait, that wasn't the actual caution, guys. The actual caution was Ed Robertson
Yeah,
in 3 and 4.
Yeah, we saw
that.
that.
Sorry.
Yep.
I was looking at something else. My
We're
bad,
watching
my
the
bad.
screen.
I was watching something completely different.
So
I
here-
was just watching these guys how close they were at the line.
Yeah, so that's the thing I wanted to know is where Scioli and Weishart were. So we're riding on board with Ryan Hart's here, coming to the white flag.
It's already. No, the green was.
Oh,
Huh.
well, Kyle, we've seen this before.
I know we've seen it, but it still makes me mad.
You want to explain to the viewers at home what we're seeing?
So the way NASCAR works in the real world is if the caution comes out before the white flag, race will go into green, white, checkered. Caution comes out after the white flag, then the race is over. In iRacing, the way it's always worked is if you get to the stripe and there's a crash, there will be no yellow. If you get the caution or a crash before that white flag, you will re-rack him and restack him. The challenge is iRacing doesn't sync the lights and the start-finish line properly to take full advantage of that rule. So it's kind of iRacing's virtual scoring loops that determine when the caution actually flew and where the leaders were. And so we get situations like that where we should have gotten to race to the checkers side by side, but we will not. Or we might, but not that time.
And yeah, we weren't able to continue racing that time by. They're actually side by side. They're 0.004 of a second between each other at the line.
Yep. That's a bummer, but they're going to get to do it again. I still like Scioli's call here, guys, even if he loses this race. Because remember where he was before? Neither do I.
It wasn't in any solid contention for the win, I can tell you that.
The Weishart, what a position this is for him, Hunter.
Yeah, that is. I actually wanted to see that finish play out on its own. Yeah, the 7-33 door-to-door. Ryan Hartz was in the back lurking. It seemed like he was going to have to make a move with the bumper. Don't think we'll see that yet, but now we enter the green, white, checker territory where now, from the drop of the green flag until they get to the white, a caution could come out, and that will be the end of that race. So Hartz doesn't want to see that. The 33 of Weishart wants to see that because it's going to get dicey here on this last restart.
I also wanted to point out, sorry, I wanted to cut you off. I wanted to point out that was a really smart move for Weishart to try to make that move before they came to the white. Because otherwise, if he didn't make a move, he'd be sitting in second place. And if we do get a caution before we get the checkered flag, he'll be in the winner's seat.
Yes, the winner's seat. Very well known. So, David Weishart's best finish prior to this season was a second. You guys remember who he lost to? James Scioli.
Uh-oh.
Back at Iowa.
Hey, look at Rafe Slade up there in the mix.
Well, Rafe Slade could fuck this up for both of them. Here we go. 2 laps to go from New Hampshire, the Magic Mile. 2 miles remaining. If we get a caution, the race is over. Until we get to that white, then it's game on. Green flag back in the air. Stack up on the outside lane behind Balacino. Weishart's free and clear of the number 7 of Scioli.
Solid move down into turn 1. Scully trying to see if he can get clear of the 3 of Ryan Hartz. Hartz trying to stick it up the inside, though.
At this point, it's just a fight for second as the field works their way off turn 2. Weishart 3-car length gap between he and the battle for second. Scully on the outside, Hartz on the inside. And they're coming off of 4, hoping to see the white flag.
Bumping and banging, 3 abreast in the backdrop. Coming to the white flag this time. We will get there just as the 99 hits the wall. 1 more lap to go, 1 mile left for Weishart if he could pick up his first victory on the season, defeating the 3, the 8, and the rest that are fighting for position behind him out of turn 2.
Yeah, Scully had to check up off at turn 4. He's still wicked loose, losing spots left, right, and center, but up in the front, David Weishart's leading clear into turn 3.
Final.
I mean, in the back, Jake Nichols is working for a top 10 finish.
Unbelievable. Checkered flag, though. Weishart lost to the 7 earlier this year. This time he's going to conquer it and win at the Magic Mile. Crash out of turn 4, the 5, and the 81 slide across the start-finish line in a wild finish. Weishart, Hartz, Slate, Beckner, Scioli, your final top 5 here from New Hampshire.
And somehow Jake Nichols got a top 10.
Oh, man.
Oh, they are still wrecking.
Ouch,
those are his teammates.
Yeah, top 10 for Jake Nichols, as you mentioned. That is unbelievable. But 5 and the 81 used each other up. And the 64 said, you know what? I'm getting there one way or the other.
Well, that's got to be gut-wrenching for the 3 of Hartz to be so close. Yet again, he's so close to capturing that win. Just can't seem to get a little bit of luck on this side to go his way as far as winning. Still getting good finishes, though. But 33 of Weishart got a little luck on his side. Part-time commentator as well, so this will be interesting to hear from the perspective of the head of the table for David Weishart Racing.
Celebrations and elation for David Weishart. have a look at our race results here from New Hampshire. This one didn't disappoint, guys. I think we all came in going, New Hampshire. I think we're all even going, New Hampshire. So that was a good one, guys.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit more respect for this place coming out here.
Oh, come on. It was
Just a little
good.
bit.
It was good. Took a while, but it was good.
No, there's definitely some great racing. These guys put on a heck of a show. Gathered quite a few yells, but the racing in between, oh boy, that was something else.
Look here, top 10, Jake Nichols, unbelievable drive. I don't think we expected anything less, to be totally honest, but it's a done. Scioli grabs a fifth, even with that loss of position there towards the end. I think that call was a positive for him. Rafe Slate, Travis Beckner, all good climbs, but Weishart's day, he came from a long ways back, didn't he, guys?
Oh yeah, 35th was his starting. He went up 34 spots.
That's unbelievable. Look down through the rest of the top 20. And then some drivers that didn't have such great days. Douglas Newbigging started on pole and ended up 30th, not the day he needed.
No, absolutely not. You hate to see it. Just went from bad to worse for him, really. As the night went on, some strong contenders back here with Connor Krezek way down the order back in 33rd.
Now to talk to a couple of our finishers. We've got, first of all, Rafe Slate up in the mix. Rafe brought home a third-place finish in the number 8 Ford. Rafe, tonight, the elbows were out. It was slipping and sliding. It looked like a lot of fun, but I think the tempers were probably a little hot and high there towards the end. Take us through your night.
A little bit. I've talked to Travis and James both, and everybody seems to be okay. But gosh, I think I'm still sweating. That was a nail biter, that's for sure. I've been screwed over quite a few times in the same position this year already, so I was just waiting for it. But just like the last couple times, it didn't happen. So I'm on an interview streak. I like it.
It's a good place to be, Rafe. Congratulations. 14th to 3rd, though, fighting kind of at the tail half of the top 10 for most of the night. A lot of restarts. What is that like? It seemed like after a couple laps, people could kind of get their bearings, but the initial restart seemed challenging and slippery, especially with people diving in all around you.
Yeah, it's luck of the draw. The car was way gripped up on new tires, so you could kind of make some moves that you couldn't later on in a run. But if the line in front of you didn't go, you weren't going anywhere. But yeah, I got to thank the car wash, my car wash guys, and up in New Jersey and Dom DeLeo with Fazekas and everybody that supports us.
Thanks, Rafe. 3rd place tonight, top 5, top 3 again for you. Congratulations, and we'll see you next week at Pocono.
Thank you very much.
Moving on now to our 2nd place finisher, Ryan Hartz, who comes up just a little bit short. Ryan, you led a couple laps tonight. We're in the mix. It just didn't quite play out for a victory, but awful close, half a second back. What could you do different to win this one tonight?
Yeah, half a second back. I really thought I had the winning car tonight. I don't know. I just could not get going on the restarts. Every time I was on like the high line, the car would just push way too much, and I couldn't, pass anybody or make any moves on the high side. And I don't know, just long runs were where my speed was at. I got Bowie, late in the race, and I passed him for the lead. And I was feeling really, really good at that moment, but Alan was catching me, so I wasn't really mad that the yellow came out. At 33, man, it made me mad seeing him win, but congrats to him. I wish I got this one. This is my home track, and I got to go back to the drawing board again. Just what do I got to do to win one of these things?
Well, you're getting awful close a number of times. You're doing something right, Ryan. I think as long as you keep putting yourself in position, you'll get one of them at some point. I thought for sure, even with the 70 coming, when the caution came out, I thought you were in position. I just thought everyone would stay out because tires seemed like they were important, but not kind of the end-all, be-all. Did you have any thought in your mind about staying out and hoping those behind you did as well?
Like on the final restart, or the restarts before where we did pit, I had to. I only pitted once, and I was on like 50-plus old tires, so I had to pit. And of course, people took 2, so I was starting. I can't remember now. I think it was 4th, and then I got back to 6th, and then I was beating myself up because I was like, that's another one that just got away. But yeah, tires weren't. I think you had to take him at the end there. You saw Scioli kind of struggle coming to the white flag. So yeah, I had to take tires. I don't know about anybody else. Yeah, it worked out for 2nd place.
Well, 2nd place is still good points tonight for you, Ryan. Congratulations. We'll see you next week at Pocono. Better luck there.
Yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks to Rick Sotsauce. Thanks to JBR for all the hard work. And thanks to you guys for also doing the broadcast.
We'll see you, Ryan. Have a good night.
Thanks.
David Weishart finally gets it done. His previous best finish was a second back at Iowa. You lost that race to the 7. Tonight, you beat the 7 and others to get your first win of the season, David. It's got to feel good, especially coming from 35th all the way to the front. Take us through your night.
Yeah, dude, I'm laughing. I don't know how. I was not feeling this at all this week. I didn't want to race it. Was kind of hoping I got taken out in that lap 0 caution. But it worked out, man. I kind of rode around, back at the top 10 or low teens. I pit there, kind of worked my way up to like 8th. And I don't know, on a restart, just kind of got lucky, got in the right lane. That bottom lane on restarts was just dominant for about 5 laps. Just people on the outside, they couldn't get the grip off the corner, and I was able to make my way up to 4th. And obviously had my teammate James there, took 2 leading, and so he took the top, and we kind of gamed the restart a little bit. Got me to 2nd, and man, I was really looking forward to that finish. Me and James, we were so excited there when I got to the inside of him. We were like, oh my God, this is going to be so much fun, this finish. And then I thought we were past the line when that caution came out. But and I thought he was ahead of me, but it gave me the spot. And that was pretty much all she wrote. I got a good restart, and they got to battling back there, and I just kind of set sail from there.
Got a couple pieces of news for you. You were across the line when the caution came out. iRacing just didn't register that, unfortunately. And the only driver that led less laps than you was Dom DeLeo, and you won the race. So considering you led 6 laps, I'd say that was getting good at the right time there, David. So congratulations. The right strategy calls, the right positions. Kept the nose on it all night long, and from 35th to 1st. That's a climb like we haven't seen all season. So congratulations, and enjoy this one.
All right, thanks. I just want to say thank you all for broadcasting. I know y'all missed last Thursday. We had a lot of fun stepping in, but you all are total pros, and we're glad to have y'all back. And thanks to everybody on DWR. We worked well together as a team.
Appreciate it, David, and I'm glad to be back. That was a tough one. By the way, for those that didn't hear, the situation was there's that winter storm coming. I had to get out of Chicago, get back home for the holidays. 5 hours after I got home, they closed the New York State Thruway. I would not have made it back if I didn't leave when I did. So it was good timing, all things considered. So glad to be back. David, congratulations. Enjoy it, and we'll see you next week at Pocono.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, guys, let's wrap this up here from New Hampshire. It's been a long night, 2.5 hours since we went green, or since we started the broadcast, I should say. Final thoughts here briefly on New Hampshire. I liked that. I thought it was a lot of fun. I can't wait for Pocono next week. That's a place I actually strangely look forward to going to here in iRacing.
I was going to say, I feel like it's been a bit of a while since we've been to Pocono as well, with some stock cars. I haven't really seen a lot of leagues visit out to the Tricky Triangle, so glad to see these guys have a crack at it. I'm sure it'll be a fantastic race.
Hunter, final thoughts.
Well, tonight was very interesting from what I saw. The green flag racing that we had was pretty solid. The longer the run went, the better the racing got, and the more the grip went away, so the car control was key factor in it tonight. A lot of yellows, but nonetheless still a solid show. And yeah, next week we go to Pocono, my home track. I'm really excited for that. All 3 corners are very different, and I went over in the summer. Shout out to Kyle C for hooking me and my dad up with some passes. Such a surreal experience being inside the track. I can't wait till next week where we go to Pocono and see it in the virtual world.
All right, Pocono Raceway, the Tricky Triangle next week. We got the Magic Mile, now it's the Tricky Triangle up next. We'll see you there next Monday. Tomorrow night, though, truck racing from New Hampshire. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.